This is Lusaka, the capital city of Zambia, a city full of life, economic activity, and heavy traffic. Every morning and evening, Lusaka's roads tell the same story. Long queues and long hours lost in transit, time that could be used on work, family, and rest. Traffic congestion has become a daily challenge for thousands of commuters in Lusaka, from Cairo Road to the Great East Road. Lusaka's growing population and increasing number of vehicles is putting pressure on the city's roads. How long have you been stuck in traffic? Like an hour. Like an hour. What time did you start off? Around 6 hours. Yes. How long does it take you to get to your destination? Sometimes 2 hours to 3 hours. Yes. Because you have a little bit of challenge of roads and also traffic. Huh? I think for the past 20 minutes now. 1 hour. Okay. Mwanya mkanda kwanza. Zinatumia time of 7 hours. Okay. Nanga imatenga nthawi kulu kwanji mufike kwemuyenda. Kati muli pamoja. Imatenga time. Time kwanji. Like ni 1 hour ni 1 hour 30 minutes. I think about 15 minutes or so. What time did you start off from home? I'm coming from California. Somewhere. What time? Around 7. Around 7. Typically, how long does it take you to reach your destination? 1 hour. Wait or 15, 20 minutes. Okay. What time did you start off? From where I was, I think like 750. Okay, how long does it usually take you to get to your destination? Usually 45 minutes. When it's supposed to be just like a 20-minute drive. Yeah. 2 hours. What man can punch? One can punch. And I'm going 7 hours. After the 8 hours. Taking how long to move to the destination? Yeah. 1 hour 50 minutes. But how did Lusaka end up with so much traffic? The city of Lusaka was originally planned for a population of 500,000, but now houses over 3 million. It is the country's busiest city and one of the most important economic hubs. A South African pressure group has urged the former first family to return to Zambia and attend to the allegations they are getting in courts of law instead of using the various scandals of late former President Eddie Galungu to extend their stay in South Africa. Progressive forces say the normal family must return to Zambia to clear their names. It was amazing to us as youth mentioned, ourselves mentioned on why will a former president who had people that he said he wouldn't want his own people on him. What we found out that there are cases against the immediate family of Mr. Edgar Lunga. Mr. Lungu himself of the status that he holds, which is former president. But the current family had no answer in Zambia. And the pressure group has asked the South African government to investigate how the late former president was allegedly admitted to a South African hospital under a fake name. They allege that the late former president is believed to have traveled out of South Africa to 2 other foreign countries and wondered how he allegedly overstayed. He arrived in SA January 19, 2025.
Mr. Danny.
And the passport
How is everything?
13831. It was granted 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
It is quite important to note that on his arrival.
Hey, Mr. Danny, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
How is everything out there in Canada?
Your voice, your volume seems to be a little bit low. I don't know if it's my end.
Is it okay
Let's
now?
see.
How is it now? Is it still
That's
low?
good now.
It's better?
No, that's good. It's good. Yeah, better. Yeah. You're saying you're attending a conference?
No, I was following the conference. You know, there was a conference that just ended
Uh-huh.
in Zambia. There's Invest in Zambia conference. It was on the 16th to 17th. I think 16, 17, 18, 3 days. The big one. You didn't follow it up?
Yeah, it's part of our discussion today. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. It has actually attracted a lot of investments, which
Yeah.
is very, very good. Which is very, 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 very good. Yeah, and we'll just see what's gonna come out of it.
Yeah, there were memorandums of understanding that were signed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because ZDA really um, is working very hard in clinching these deals.
Exactly.
They are,
And these are not just MOs just signed, but they have to come into fruition because in most cases in the past governments they've just been like just sign something and then it's just on a document. Nothing is followed up.
yeah, No, the thing why I like about the current government is they're bringing in investors, discussing signing a memorandums on our soil. Okay,
Mhm,
it's different when you go abroad and you're just covered by, oh yeah, the president went to China, president went to Brazil, and all that, and they signed all that. That's different. But when you see investors come in your country, travel all the way from
mm,
Japan, Toyota comes all the way to Murungushi International Conference, it means they're serious. They're
yeah,
serious.
business. It means serious business.
Yeah. So it's not like those days when you hear the president and his delegation have gone to China and you just hear that, oh wow, there they did this, they did this.
Mhm,
But this time we're experiencing these guys coming to our country and sign this memorandum of understanding. So to me, it carries more weight than before.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Oscar, Kamwamba, you are muted, Oscar.
Hello?
Oh, there.
Hello?
How are you? Where are you? Are you in Canada? Are you back in Canada?
I'm in Canada.
All right,
I,
good.
I,
Nice.
would, I would charge you because people think I'm Tonga. So now by greeting me in Tonga, you owe me 10,000.
You
Whichever,
are, you
whichever currency I will take.
you are one in Zambia, one in nation. You, I know you. You are a Tonga Nyanja Rose combination.
Combination.
Mm-hmm.
Um, mhm.
You-
So, okay.
you've been charged cows, Mister. You've been
Mm-hmm.
cows. You've been
Yes.
charged in form of cows. Those good ones that HH has.
Yes. The ones from Namala.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
welcome, Oscar. I think
Thank you.
it's your first time joining us. We welcome you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, we welcome you to our beautiful show. We have this every Saturdays just to dissect and talk about all these issues that are happening in Zambia. So I think we can start while we wait for other individuals to join.
Okay.
So briefly, I think let's introduce ourselves to the public. Let's start with you, Oscar, since it's your first time. Give us just a small brief history about yourself, and then we go from you to Adani, and then myself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. My name is Oscar Mwanza. Zambian, born in Choma, but not Tonga. My background is I'm an economist. I have a master's degree in agriculture economics.
Mhm,
I have both experience from working in Zambia as well as in
mhm,
Canada. I
mhm,
worked at the Ministry of Agriculture for
mhm,
3.5 years. Then I got
mhm,
a scholarship, came to Canada to do my master's. Then after I completed my master's in economics, I got a job with AT&T Canada. Then from there, I moved to provincial government in infrastructure and transportation. That's my background. I'm retired. I
mhm,
have one Kwendo here. I have a dual citizenship, both so Canada and Zambia. I'm actually one of the first group to get the dual citizenship. So I'm partly here and partly in Zambia. So I'm very much in touch with what is going on. On the ground, I have a farm in Lusaka, 10-acre farm. So
mhm,
I do when I'm there. I do sell stuff to our common markets. That's why you kind of get the vibes what is going on.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank
Vad-
you.
Vadani, Vadani.
Another introduction again. Okay.
No, I know that
Mm.
you just there's a brief. You don't really need. Everybody knows you by now.
Yeah, I've been on this show for some time now. Anyway, my name is Danny Liswani, so I'm a veterinarian by training. I'm a UNZA product. The early veterinary graduates from our famous UNZA vet school. I taught at University of Zambia briefly before I left in 1993. I went to UK. No, I went to Scotland, then England, and after my studies in UK, I got a job in Canada. So that's how I found myself in Canada. I arrived in Canada 2000, and I've been living there ever since and working there as a professor. And recently, I got a little job somewhere in the Caribbean, and I'm now here in the Caribbean. I started as a consultant, but now I think I'm switching to join them as a faculty because we established a new school here from scratch, and now it's running, and I'm one of the administrators here in the island of Puerto Rico. But
Oh,
I'm always, as Oscar said, my one leg is in Canada, one leg now will be here in Puerto Rico, and then the third leg will be in Zambia.
if you can have a third leg.
Okay, so every man has three legs. Um, anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, that's me. So
that's beautiful. Okay, so we're joined by Bachtumba. Bachtumba, welcome to the show. He's joining us live, I think, from Lusaka, Petauke. How are you, Mr. Chitumba?
I'm fine, and how are you, everyone?
good, good.
Good. Yeah. Is
I've never been this
Bachtumba, you're in the
confused.
health system, isn't it? You're what, a registered nurse? Yeah. What are you now?
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I'm in health. I'm a midwife by profession.
Ah, my
That's
sister is
good.
a midwife in Zambia too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you never knew that these kind of positions can be held by men, you know?
Yeah, my sister is a midwife
Actually,
in
we are
Zambia.
so many men in media as midwife.
Serious?
We are a
Wow,
lot.
Oh,
that's interesting.
that's interesting to know. Very
Yeah.
interesting to know.
So
Wow.
midwives, you're trained as nurses first, or what? Then you
Okay. Yeah. Actually, way back. First of all, it was first of all you have to go as a registered nurse. Then now, as a midwife, come as a specialist. As a specialist, you go for specialization now.
from the
Yeah,
scratch.
now
Okay.
you. Yes. So now, because again, I think also there was another program which was direct, but it was certificate level. It was, I think, it was 1 year 6 months because of the shortages.
Okay.
Yeah, but now they've introduced. Now you can start. First of all, you do registered nurse. Then the last year you do midwifery. Then you qualify as a midwife.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Fantastic. And of course,
Hmm.
we're joined by our resident PS, Wakazia Ramashina. Welcome to the show. Wakazia, are you there?
Thank you very much, Watanda. I'll be home in the next maybe 5 minutes, then I'm gonna log in nicely, but I'll be listening in.
Okay. Okay. No
Yeah.
problem. No problem. That's okay. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the program. I think we can start now. I think that the first topic that we need to look at is the crackdown on the 50, how many people? 56 individuals that have been arrested, 206 pharmacies that have been raided by the SEC. He tried to crack down the issue at Zamsa. I don't know when that issue is going to end or when that problem is going to be solved. But maybe on this one, since we've got Bashtumba, who's in the health sector there in Zambia, maybe you've got an insight on these issues, like, because this issue has been a thorn in everybody's foot for a long time. Everybody's been trying to find out why medicine, we have a short of medicine going missing, all these issues. Like, what really is the problem? What is the what problem in the health sectors? Like, what is it? Rachtumba, are you there? Okay, Rachtumba seems to have gone to take a cup of tea or something. Radani, these issues have been persisting for a long time. The issue of medicine, going missing, illicit deals, like there's so many things that are happening in the health sector when it comes to drugs. What is the problem? Hello, Mr. Danny?
Oh, is that me?
Yes, yes, I was talking to you, Danny.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because Wachtumba
Yeah,
you seem to be away, but so you're
that
the
me.
closest
Okay.
thing. Yeah, you're the closest
For
thing
me,
to in the health sector. Yeah.
for me, I've always said that this problem needs serious attention in terms of firing people. And just to start from the top, as long as you don't trim the head, in this case, it looks like definitely the problem is at the top, because even if you arrest these people, the drivers and the office orderlies on the bottom, remember those are the names that they're talking about when they say, oh, they've arrested 46. They're talking about office orderlies who are stealing one bottle of painkillers and stuff like that. I think the real problem here it has to start from the top. The minister himself and the permanent secretary, those people have to be disciplined in terms of uh, suspension or firing or something. Because
Mm.
if you just continue transferring these people, you don't
Mhm.
fire them. You get silver and say, well, you take her this way. You get this one. You just shuffle them like cards. You're not. The problem still remains. So someone somewhere has to be fired first. And I think that's when people know that it's serious. Because the way it is now, it started with the Chilufias in the PF government, what, they just transfer him, they take him this way, they do this. So anyone who is gonna be coming, they'll just know that I'll not be fired, they'll just be transferred to another ministry anyway. So I think that's a problem we're having here. I was listening to the labor conference. This the labor. I think the labor. What do they call movement? Are having their 50th celebration in Livingstone right now. I was listening to their leader. I don't know whether he's a president or general secretary, whatever they call the leader of the one of the unions.
Mhm.
He mentioned that to HH. Said, "Mr.
Mm.
President, fire these people. What
Ah.
are you? What? Yeah." He told right in front of what's happening in the Ministry of Health, Mr. President.
Uh-huh.
We need you to fire them. And I like that
Mm.
guy. He just put it straight in his face. He said,
Mm. Mm.
we're tired of you shuffling these people. They are stealing medicines. They're doing this. Please act. And I hope
Mm.
the president will listen to the labor movement, because they are tired as well. And
Mm.
it's just too much. Same
Mm.
ministry over and over and over, and nothing
Mm.
is done. It's not. We need to be serious here. We need to be
Mm.
serious. Our president has to act. Otherwise, this thing is gonna be. It will continue. It's business as usual. Thank you.
Mm. Mm. Okay, thank you very much on that one. Vakazia. Oh, sorry. Vakazia is just listening. Oscar, what's your take on the issue of drugs? Uh, if you can just give us your 2 cents on this one. Go
Uh,
ahead,
I,
Oscar.
I I agree with Danny 100%. The president has to be firm on this and fire the head. You're not solving anything by firing drivers and office orders and things like that. I mean, last time, personally, I had no problem with the former Minister of Health, but to
Mhm.
transfer her from health to lands,
Mm.
like Danny said, people just think I'll come here, nothing's gonna happen to me. And the
Mm.
stealing of medicine is very systematic and be very brief. I got sick in Zambia. I was in a hospital at Levy. Suddenly, I wasn't getting my BP medication. I
Mm.
asked the nurse, he said the doctor discontinued. I said, there's no way the doctor can discontinue my BP because I'm feeling funny. We fought with the nurse, and the medicine
Mm,
reappeared. You know,
mm.
reappeared. So
Wow.
it's a problem. I don't know what the English word to say, but it really needs cleaning up big time.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. Wow. I think the way I look at it is the attitude one, the corrupt system, because the systems have been corrupt for so many years that nothing is done professionally. Even when you're talking about you going to get your medication, and they tell you that, oh no, this medication is not available. And the reason some people that would will say that is they want you to go to a certain pharmacy to acquire those kind of medicine. And there's been a syndicate for a long time, for years, that's between certain health practitioners and certain pharmacies. It's a well-known thing. It's a hidden secret. um you'll find that you go there, you want to get medicine, but they will write a prescription. They even put it a name of a pharmacy where you can go and get it. You see, and people will just go there, they go and buy without knowing that they're being implicated in a string of corruption, a string of just bad system. And like these issues, like if you're a health practitioner, it should come with a heart of saying, I'm here to do a service to the Zambian community. But because of the way, it's been, the blueprint has been laid on for years and years, everybody just been falling into that trap and doing the same thing over and over and over and over. But I think, I think that now it needs to end, and everybody that's been benefiting, they actually need to be, looked up. And actually, it goes very, very at high levels. That's why it's not an easy thing to stop, because there are a lot of big people, organizations, companies that have actually been formed from ground up, and people have been benefiting for years and years and years and years. And if you look at the most pharmacies in Zambia are owned by a certain sector of people. Like we're not going to mention names, but that's what it is. So this thing needs to be cracked down. And once it's cracked down, people need to start paying back to the community. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's going to be a tough one, because it's been happening for years. But a stop needs. We need to. There need to be a stop to this. And so on and so forth. Kazi, are you ready to join us now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Fantastic.
And
So we're just talking about the issue of the crackdown that happened
no, I've
in
actually
the yeah.
I have been listening in, and I
Mm,
think there's nothing very difficult for me. It's just a matter arrest and prosecute. That's all, and then publish the names of the people stealing. Because you see, you can't just say, oh, 56 have been arrested. Where are those 56? I'm not trusting the numbers. I want to see the names and I want to see the process. There's no need to go bit about it. But the only way you stop thieving is by prosecution. You arrest, you take to police. And across, and non-selective application of the justice system. That's all. If it is a director who has stolen, he has a what, deal with them. Not to start sugarcoating. This thieving is thieving. So I think there are not ways about it. Government must come clean on this, and including if there are ministers involved, let them go. People have been complaining about myself. People have been complaining about these people. The audit has gone there. Why is the audit? Why is the audit not at Parliament? The president was very categorical. You have the audit report. One will come to the executive, the other one straight away, same day. It should land at Parliament. Now it's not at Parliament, but it is at the executive wing of government. So I think let's just be serious with it. Arrest, prosecute, and then that's the only way you can end. If we start hiding a few names, no, we can't disclose who they are for what. That is what makes even stealing more important. Because
Oh, Mr. Kazia seems to be dropping. Kazia, your volume is not loud and clear. We can't seem to hear what you're saying. Yeah, but yeah, like you're saying, like there needs to be a crackdown and there needs to be a stop to all this. I think we all agree on that one. Like dealing with the health of individuals or health of people is, I think it's one of those important things that need to be on top of the Zambia's agenda, because just looking at the way they gave a reason for the United States to withdraw, that help from Zambia was based on this issue, saying there's a lot of pilferage and there's a lot of misuse and mismanagement, about ZAMSA and everything. So I think I don't know, like I'm saying, like it's a mammoth task that needs to be addressed. A mammoth task that needs to be addressed. And looking at how Zambia is at the moment, we have a leader in place that's actually doing his best to crack down this issue. And right now we have Vamuchima, who's there now. But the problem didn't start with him. The problem didn't start with the former Masebo. It's a thing that's been happening for years. So it needs to be really looked at. Like I said, they brought in professionals. They did their forensic work. The report has been, I think they brought out the report. But if that report, I don't know if they want to put that report public. At this point, I don't think it will be wise, because it's a court issue now, because people will be going to court. All those people, 56 individuals, will be going to court now, and the government has to prove their case. So to preempt to us to say this is what we found, will just be arming, those individuals. But Danny, what do you think?
For me,
Mhm.
it's just lack of seriousness. I was listening to an interview by is it Trade Fair? There was Trade Fair recently, is it? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
That's it. Yeah,
Is it Zamsa or Zamla or whatever?
Zamsa.
Zamsa had this. They were displaying they had a pavilion there,
Mm-hmm.
and the reporter that was interviewing them was asking about how they do things and all that. The way they explained, you would think that there's no way someone can steal medicines, because they have a system where when drugs come out of the warehouse, they're inputted into the system. When they're distributed, they go to certain hospitals. They're monitoring that. When you dispense certain medicine in Levi-Mwanawasa Hospital, it goes into the system. So there's a lot of, technology is there. Okay, the technology is there, and the way they were explaining, they were like they will track a drug from the warehouse all the way to the end user who is a patient.
Mm-hmm.
They would know how where the drug. They were demonstrating. They were demonstrating on their computers. So
Okay.
if they go to trade fair and demonstrate that type of efficiency and technology,
Mm.
why is it that they're not applying it in the real
Yes.
life, in a real scenario?
Did they just acquire that technology now, or it's
No,
always been there?
they've had it. They've had it. They can track. They can track a drug from actually the manufacturer up to the time you take your Panadol. Okay,
Serious?
yes, the system is there. So why are they stealing when these systems are in place? I was listening to the trade at the trade fair one. So they were showing the computers. This is what happens when a doctor dispenses in the Levy
Mm.
Manawasa. It
Mm.
goes like so. We know that this now has been dispensed. We know how many the stock at Levy Manawasa. We can click here. It shows we have boxes of this,
Mm.
but that's not the reality. So what you are displaying there is fake, and what's really being applied is different. So that's one thing we should. These guys, they have the technology, they have everything, but they're not applying it. I think someone somewhere is just
Mm.
ignoring the use of the technology. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, I think if they're saying they have that technology, but still drugs are missing, so I think there's something that we need to look at in terms of their technology. Then it's not working, or
I
it,
think people are not just inputting
uh,
data. Like, for example, if they have received or they're putting fake data or something in the system, but
in
otherwise
the
the
system.
system.
So they're probably manipulating the system.
Yeah.
Okay. So they know that, okay, fine. For example, 10 cases of Panadol came in. Then they manipulate the system to say, oh, 5 cases came in. Okay. So the other 5 has been done what? It's been put aside. So the 5 cases that's been inputted in the system, they're able to track it from the warehouse to where it's going.
Yeah.
The other 5 that has been put aside is not counted for. It's not in the system. Okay.
Yeah.
So because I know, like I once worked in a warehouse, it was when you look at how you have to have a physical count as well. You have to know, okay, here, this, where are we, batch number this section, what have we received? The point where you're receiving, when a truck comes in, there are individuals there, my guys, whatever, those individuals, those individuals, they'll come in and they will, you just direct them. Oh, VK Chapa, VK Chapa, VK Chapa, VK Chapa, VK. There are people, who are there. Most of them, they hire just the local laborers, and those guys, they will just do their job. They'll just, okay, fine, I'm just doing my job. They'll be there. But the accounting of what is coming out of that track, I think that's where we need to look. If they're coming in pallets, if their tracking system is so serious or it's that advanced, what they need to do is create a system where it's tracked on a pallet. So if you say a pallet, boom, 40 cases of Panadol. There's even a barcode. Now we show, 40 cases. Immediately it's coming out of that track. You scan it. Once it's scanned, that individual, having caponation and enable, Mwamba, na receive a batch number, so na live per section apa. Here's where I put it. Because the warehouses are huge. So you even know where it is. You even know who did it. You even know where it is. If same thing when it's coming out. If they want to say, okay, we need 10 cases to take to Chawama clinic, somebody has to there to sign to say 10 cases have been removed from the 40 cases, and now there are 30 now. So I don't think it's pretty hard, but it's because individuals have been what you call it. They've been misusing the system. Go ahead, Bamwanza.
Ini naishira Pasumaini.
Oh, Bahamwami. Bahamwami, you can go ahead.
Epo naishira. Epo naishira. Nafikira pia kuikata exactly what you're talking about. You know what is needed for that Zamsa warehouse? There's what is called a radio frequency gun. Phone. Whoever is picking, because muni warehouse you have to pick and pack. Whatever I'm picking, he has to log in the system. Chaishi wanokushivati, system yashivati, Chanda has logged in at this time with an order from Ndola Central Hospital, which they requested for, or depo ili, nemi teko ili. Chanda ala pita warehouse, apa riponse pa location epo asango mchuyo, he scans and puts on the whatever pallet to go for the onward transmission to Ndola. The moment he scans kulia ku warehouse ati, scanning a panadol, a picking ai, na kundola kulia, if we realanga ati, oh, panadol yesu, valonga, ili munshila.
Amwami,
Aisas,
that is
Aisas,
that's what they
Aisas,
were demonstrating at the show. That's what they were demonstrating at the trade show.
you
Samson.
see, let
They
me
were
tell you,
demonstrating exactly that.
Aisa scanning ama ARVs, ngaya kumwense, na kumwense ku system kulia, yalanga nonga that, oh, ama ARVs yaisa, na moto kaya delivery, epo ili panse. The moment fyaingira mu track yumu, truck driver, na kuata na Google Map, yala mutwala, kumwense, yala mutwala, kuchawama, mama, to just deliver those goods. If that system is being implemented, we shall know the point at which the driver stopped for maybe 3 hours because he's monitored. Yalalanga no kulanga, oh, I mean, it's under satellite and track yadi minina persona so for 2 hours. Can you explain what were you doing at that time? Because yama drugs, the system itself. If they showed that could show, maybe if they implement it, it will be the best. Drug pilferage is at its highest. Tetinde amgushita pana doyo fuilo kushita no. It's just bad. Mhm. I worked in some warehouse just for just about a week or so. You can't, you see, if the order is wrong, if you pick the wrong stuff, they will just come straight to you because on the system, you log in with your password. They will not say, Iwe, you picked the wrong stuff. What happened? Tetukane, you picked, instead of picking Panados, you picked ARVs. The system can show because you are an authorized user. You are logging in the system. If that's what they showed to show, well and good. It can work. I would support that one. Even if it means investing millions in that system, it's okay because you are trying to protect what everyone in Zambia needs, drugs. Mhm. I yield.
Beautiful, wonderful. I
Well
think
done.
the issue of drugs is very, very, very serious.
Mhm.
Uh,
But my 2 cents contribution.
yeah.
You see, Doctor, who is that? The one they fired?
Bachitaru?
No, no, no. The in the new dawn, the director general. What's the name? Nyasulu. Nyasulu, when he was being interviewed, spoke about that. He said it's the system that he wanted to implement, but he faced the problems in implementing that system. And I'm sure that if it is implemented now,
Mhm.
it will lead to a lot of solutions. The solutions about these drugs is a huge cartel. Everybody knows it's a cartel. Same people that created problems for PF. And the UPND at the time was like, you are useless, you can fix this. The same people again come in, again they are creating the same problem for UPND. Same group of people, suppliers and all these things. It's a cartel that needs to be broken. If the government does not really take a very heavy handedness in terms of dealing with the high level people, not just a pharmacist who is able to trade, you jail him for a panadol, and then you leave the guy who has taken millions in the deal, who takes 65 containers and wanting to export them. He's free. That level of transparency and accountability is required, whereby everybody is held accountable. Not where these people are protected, especially the people that have very high level political connections, because they can't even be mentioned. We are scared to mention them. Government is not mentioning them. 56, what are the names of the 56? If Chanda Kazia today steals a Panado, the name will be headline. He's been arrested for stealing a Panado. Another person is just a number. Oh, 5 people have been arrested. 5? They don't have fixed board. They don't have the positions. If they are civil servants who we pay, why can't we mention them? So that what Joy even was talking about in Livingston becomes a reality of saying, Mr. President, fire them. But who is the president going to fire without knowing the names? Are they going to be fired silently or openly? Because we are interested. I personally am interested in knowing who has been stealing the drugs. Who is this person in a position of responsibility who has not executed it? Not just the numbers. Numbers may be rhetoric. Let's see some very, very high level action taken.
You want the big fish.
I want the big
You
fish,
you want
Bamacha.
the big fish.
The big, big fish must be jumped so that we know that this is the fish that has been causing the problem for the entire Ministry of Health.
This
Because
is
we
the fish
can't.
that has been drying the waters.
Uh-huh. So we want to see that fish. Who is that fish?
Who's the fish anyway? Like
Who is protected?
who's the big fish anyway?
We don't know because they keep telling us just that the people have been stealing. We don't know who. We don't even know how true that may be.
You want name you want name and shame.
I want thieves, the names for the thieves.
Name
In the
and shame.
previous, in the have you not set the tone in terms of what you do to people that you suspect?
Mm.
You have been mentioning them. Eh? And these are Zambians, they were in
Uh,
leadership. You've arrested them. You've taken them to trial.
So
What is changed now?
let Mwanza come in and chime in, and we
yeah,
want to
So
hear what
I
Mwanza.
submit Mwanza. Therefore,
yeah,
action in.
yes. So we all want to, action, but everybody has talked about the tracking of drugs. I forgot to mention something. We also teach at a college with in the supply chain, right, as my part time. So when we're talking about marketing logistics, we talk about the same thing of tracking whether it's drugs from the warehouse up to the end point in the value chain. So whilst we are targeting these big guys that we want arrested or names like that, it's a whole system, it's a cartel up to the nest. I gave an example where my medication was stopped. And but because I've been on that medication since I was like 30, so I knew it can't just be stopped. So an average Zambian does not know if he's told that the doctor stopped it. He will just understand. Will just take it as face value at what Dr. Badi is told me on this medication. So what I suspect, the one may not have facts. I think the biggest, wow, it's a cartel, but I think the medications are stolen more at the hospital level. Because from the warehouse up to levy and what, I think the system, whether it's there or not, I think it's kind of hard to maybe to steal. But once it gets at the hospital, these guys they're just 20 boxes of this and this were dispensed. Meanwhile, it were not. They can repackage them, right? They can open them, they're dispensed and put back in different boxes. And somebody mentioned about, if you look at these pharmacies, especially the bigger ones, they are run by a certain ethnic group. We won't mention them. So it, it, it's a cartel from the warehouse all the way up to the nurse dispensing the medication.
Mwanza, I
I
have a question.
submit. Yes, yes.
I have a question. My
Hmm.
question, my $1 million question is,
Hmm.
who is doing it? Do we know them? Do
I
they
don't.
do?
Huh?
Yes. No, I'm not asking you to know them, Bamwanza. The system that is discovering them on the process of audit, the audit trail, and we find that, for instance, I was given 500 boxes of Panadol. I signed up for 500 boxes of Panadol, yet I don't know where the 500 boxes of Panadol went. Maybe they went to my pharmacy. And then I am caught in that. What is wrong in saying, we found you with this, this is what you have? Instead of generalizing to say, yes, we know the systems that are being stolen at this level. We know the levels. But
Yes.
now the question is, who has been arrested and for what?
Yeah. I agree with you. That's where the president has to be tough on this
Yeah.
one.
So it's not just
Yeah,
for me, Babanza, it can't just be the president.
yeah.
We can't just be helping the president to override certain systems that he has created. Where is the permanent secretary? Where is the minister? Where are these people that have been given powers to do it? So when we start going to the president for him to act, we are taking the function. Then it means, why do we have the ministers, the permanent secretaries, the directors, and others? Why do we have them if the president is the one to act? I do not think this is where we bring the presidency. When they act, again, we turn against them because then we throw them back to the systems that are enshrined in the laws. So unless the president must deal with the minister and the PS because those are his appointees.
That's what we mean.
You know, so
Start with the head. Yeah.
let's be straightforward. Then we say, President, can you deal with Minister of Health and the permanent secretary? Fire them.
Yeah.
Let's not then go to a cleaner who was just given 2 Panados to deliver, and then maybe that Panado is stolen. That's the one we arrest. And then the PS or the minister who is overseeing that is quite is safe. No,
Mm.
for me, cut njoka ni kumutu, cut the head. Cut the minister, the what, those people that are in there, the ones that the president has authority over, he's the one who should deal. And the chain reaction is going to go down, 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 so that the president doesn't fire a pharmacist because that is way above his paycheck. That is way too low to go for the president. So the president has a responsibility up to a certain level. And let's not just throw things to the president. Oh, president, do this. No. Certain things are enshrined that the president can't do, even if he would want to do and have the powers to do it, because he's constrained by the law. And also that if he does that, he abuses the process. Again, come after him when he does that. So I think the people that are advising the president is that he must deal with the people that he has appointed and not to go down to the civil service where Joy was saying, oh, fire them, fire them. Those are his members. Is he saying they should fire the pharmacist? The president should come down and fire the pharmacist. I don't
Point
think
of interjection.
that
Point
shouldn't be the scenario.
point
The
of
point of,
interjection.
the
Point
point
of
of
interjection.
interjection.
All right.
Last time I
What
heard that was in debate.
Wachandakazi yaimwe. Are you telling me that the president should fire a minister of health?
Yes, he should. Why not?
Hey, you.
Ah, ah.
Can you justify?
I'm telling you that. Okay, who else can the president fire in that ministry?
The permanent secretary.
Yes. So I said, and I mentioned it too. I said the minister and the PS out. That's what I said, isn't it?
A minister.
Ah, ah. Why not?
I
Minister.
think, can I interject too? Where it
Yes.
becomes this minister and the permanent secretary, I think we worked. I worked at Minister of Agriculture at Mulungush House. So the minister is, if he's very active, like he knows his responsibilities in the PS and things like that. I think it goes down the chain, right? So where the minister comes in, let's say, for example, the former minister was saying there are medicines are there in the hospitals when there were no medicines, and where there was 60 containers in Makeni. So she should have been fired because she lied in parliament. She also
No,
misled the
no,
president.
no. She.
Let me just finish. Yeah.
Yes.
So that, whether it's a fact or not, but I think this the where the president, when we say the president, we mean those he appoints. If the minister is not aware, the permanent secretary should know what is going on in their ministry.
Ramwanza,
No, no,
I
no,
was
no.
permanent
Just a
secretary.
minute. Just a minute. You are not. The
I
president is
was
not supposed
PS,
to
so
fire
I
the
know.
minister. He's not. He's just supposed to transfer the minister
Oh, there you go.
What are
to
you
another
talking
minister.
about? Imwami, what are you talking?
I'm talking. Not
That is
supposed
the
to.
problem we are having now here. That we talked about it before you arrived.
No transfers.
This transfer thing, this is what is problematic.
Achanda mleseke.
Wow. But Danny, why you for you? Elete
Now I
shireki
see,
tikwe.
I see his joke now. Okay, that's good.
It's just
I
a joke. He's joking.
he's joking. I thought he
Yes.
was serious.
No,
So
that's supposed to be a light moment.
it's
Yes,
supposed to be a light moment. Yeah.
And
I
which
thought
have
he
a
was serious
transfer
about
chapo.
it.
just
You
transpire.
see, you see. Then the problem comes that if the president doesn't fire, remember what I said? I said if the president does not act, he is involved. Period.
That one, that
I
sentiment,
am saying
I've always told you,
no. You have told
Wakazia.
me because listen, Bachand, and there is a reason. Unless you can
All the time you
counter
say
what I
that.
have
I
said.
don't like that one. I don't like
Yes,
that side.
I'm not supposed. You are not supposed to like it. Are you supposed to like it? Because I'm saying if the minister, the PS, they are overseeing this stealing, they are stealing, and the only thing they are moved to another ministry to continue the same things. So and then you come and tell me that why is the president behaving that way? So that's why I said my conclusion. If and I put a condition, I'm not saying he's involved. No, I'm saying if he's going to transfer someone who is mentioned in a corruption case, who is at the helm of the person who goes to parliament and lies to say, "Oh, we have this," then 65 containers are found. He says, "Oh, we're at 80% medicines." Meanwhile, there's nothing. So he's caught into that. Then he's transferred. Then we say, "No, get rid of this person." Why is the president not getting rid of that person? That's when we tell him you are involved. That is why you're not getting rid of the problem. So you may not like that, but that is the perception that is created. That is why
Now,
we are telling the president to act.
listen, Wakazia. I've always said something, and I've always said it. We cannot lump every problem that comes to
This is not
the
every
government.
problem, Bachanda.
No,
This
no,
is a
no, 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 no. But
specific
listen,
problem.
let me finish what I'm saying. If we're going to lump every problem to the president,
I hope
then
you give me chance
what
to
we're
respond.
saying, this is what we're saying. We're saying that we have the wrong people in the wrong positions because the president cannot be the alpha and the omega. He cannot control every government system. All right?
You,
He,
Bachanda, you're
that's
addressing
why he
something
went.
else.
Can I come in there? Can I come
Bachanda,
in?
you're
Can I
addressing
come in?
something very else. I don't
Ah,
know where you've gone. Now you've
let,
taken off tangent. I
let
don't
me
know where
come.
you're heading now.
Let me come in there. We hear the president gets an intel report every morning, an intelligence report. What does the intelligence report to him? Only the other day, he leaked information that no, remember teachers were careful. The other union was meeting Betus. You can imagine, how did the president get to know such things? If he can know such things, surely he can fail to know who is he misbehaving at a level of stealing drugs in the country, surely.
500 million. Bachanda, get it right.
Intel report, sure. Intel report, when the intelligence meets him every morning, what do they tell him? What do they tell the Minister of Home Affairs? What do they tell the Minister of Defense? Surely, uh, I'm becoming a bit suspicious that somewhere, somehow, the systems are not working.
Imwe bene Bachanda, you used to you have been hammering me here. You hammered ECL even when it was about when if MACTA is happening at the Ministry of Health, someone is shot there. Who are you lamping on? Bana Lumango was on record saying everything is controlled by Edgar Lungu. Even where he was not, and I have struggled even
No,
on
no,
this
no, no,
forum.
no, that's a different topic.
No, listen, I am talking
That's a
about
different can of worms you want
responsibility.
to open.
But
That's a different can
but
of worms
I am
you don't
telling.
want to open.
No, I am not. I don't care whether I open it or not because it's a fact that these things are there written. We see the level of responsibility. May I argue with you, colleagues, here that there are things which the president is not aware, but we throw our presidents in there. This is a Zambian way of thinking. When we are supposed to hold a person accountable, we go and hold the president accountable, even for something. And the reason is simple. This time, the people, why is the president transferring the problem, not dealing with it? Because Maseva was the problem. You know that.
Okay, so you have mentioned. Okay, now here's the thing. You have mentioned somebody. Okay, but they're not even here to defend themselves. But
The people we discuss here are not here to defend themselves.
now,
Even if
okay,
we discuss the dead here.
fine. You've mentioned Vamasebo, but did this problem start when Vamasebo was the Minister of Health? No. Let's just be honest, gentlemen. This problem has been existing for a long time, for years, way before Vamasebo. So we cannot just mention it, Vamasebo.
Let me tell you why we are
I
mentioning.
blame HH. Why I blame HH is when he came in power, he was supposed to fire everyone and put in his own people. He left bad seeds. Now those bad seeds are germinating. And when they're germinating, it's now us complaining. Hey, Uria, hey, hey. So,
Matter, that is going too far. The
eh,
president cannot fire the entire civil service.
I-
Takwana.
There was supposed to be some changes at a level.
No, but he changed them. Bamasebo, did he come with the former government? He was there. Bamasebo has been in all the governments, by the way, and at minister level. So he's not like someone who is not experienced in these things that are there.
Mm.
There was a report that mentioned him in South Africa. You remember? It went underground. People complained. The stakeholders complained about it. What did we do? Transfer. And now the bigger problem is erupts. Then we are expecting action, not necessarily that you should fire by Bamasebo. Bamasebo is well long gone, he's moved on, and these things like that. This is a report that is coming after she's gone. The question is that what is happening? Who is involved? And that's why I said if we don't get the names, we don't get the action, then the boss himself is in it.
At least we have 56. 56, a number. 56 people.
Yeah.
Now we went 56. So
Yeah,
the
few
56
number.
Congressman names are right.
It is not touched to anything, Baba Macha, that number. I can
56
simply
is a
say
good
even
number.
60. 60 is a good number.
But for a start, it's okay.
Even 5 is a good number for a start.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move ahead, gentlemen. I think we got another burning issue. Uh, all of a sudden, we're seeing all these controversies in South Africa, and it's being tagged to say, look, South Africans are now chasing foreigners, especially Zambians in foreign hospitals, to tell them that, look, you guys, you need to go to your own health, sectors or health hospitals to get to be attended. Why are you coming here? And this it boils down to one civil society. The civil society in South Africa are questioning to say, why was Eddie Kalungu using a false name when he was admitted at that hospital? Why did he have several, passports? And when he was living there, his permit when he came in, it expired. And they're saying, why should he be buried here when he's got his own land, taking land from the South Africans? Because where they're going to bury him, it's more like they're taking land from a South African that's supposed to be buried there, then they're giving it to a foreigner when he has got his own land where he can be buried. So there's so many controversies. I don't know if you've been seeing what's going on the internet. People are being chased in hospitals. They're telling them, go back to your country, go and get your health care. Now, this is the confusion that's being created by the Patriotic Front. Now, sorry to say this, but Mayoba, Mayoba Lungu, Esther Lungu, I don't really know at this point because it's been over a month now. I think when it's in the first 2 weeks, you can say somebody is a little bit confused. They don't know what they're thinking. But at this point, it looks like people it has always been in the plans of relocating to South Africa for good and never coming back to Zambia. So, so it boils down to all these, gentlemen, let's break it down. And the Chawama seat is up for grabs. So anybody wants to go to Chawama here, Vakazia, you want to stand in Chawama? It's up for
No,
grabs.
he can't. He
It's
can't
very
that one.
disgraceful to even have a conversation around this.
You
And
know,
I'm telling you, let me open it up. It is very
yes.
disgraceful and shameful.
Mhm.
It's a big disgrace. Because you see, we know if maybe me, I'm with a decision that the family is making. Muntu wafuile. There is a lot of nonsense that has come up because of the documents that are going in court. Chavinga is in South Africa there, and the messages are coming out that is there to finance the confusion. Mwaya told her, Chirufetayari was there shirtless, Arilanda. What is he talking about? Now, Mwishiba, we are embarrassing ourselves as a country, even especially government. They can't be sinking so low to the level that you go and finance a group of unknown people to say, oh, that we fire abantu babashike. How many South Africans have died in Zambia?
Those are just
So
South Africans.
many.
Vakazia.
Let me have my contribution. You can come and count what I'm going to
All
say.
right, go ahead.
You see, they are there. How many South Africans have been buried in Zambia? This relationship between Zambia and South Africa can be finished by those young people that are just waking up, and you can even see that who We can't be thinking ourselves. We have allowed other foreigners to come and start having a conversation. The family is categorical. Tabalefaya wakateka wesuku vapo. The beef which should have been not there was allowed to be there until muntu afa. Lijafa nomba fiaba ni Pandora's box. And to start talking about Esther Lungu in this vaganda, this is very shameful. The husband is still in the mortuary. No, what do you want her to do? You want her until she does what you are thinking, then that is when it is going to be normal. If she does what she is thinking, then it is not. Now, Mwishiba, some of these things we can do much better. If the family wants to bury by ACL in SA, let them bury in SA. Then let's come back here and work on our rules, policies, and laws such that this should never be repeated. We can't be having this going on. Even if no matter what we do, the family will have an ultimate say. And remember, there was a conversation one day where somebody said, if government wins, I say, I'm saying, then, okay, you see, they've been nobody, including me. I want my ECL to be buried in Zambia. Nobody says it should be buried, but the circumstances and things that have been said. Nobody even condemns when people ridicule the person who was the president when in death. Umuntu around that, oh, that one is a frozen fish. And this is coming from people that are within the UPND leadership ranks. And there is no statement that is coming to condemn that kind of behavior. Including Jack Nwimbo on the floor of parliament, including Vanamterna Lumango. How do you talk like that and expect unity? How do you talk like that? And then no, let's go back and to start having a conversation with the family. However, we should just let's leave it. Let whatever is going to be the outcome be the outcome. Let's not add the salt to fire. Let's not debate this. We are just also adding the salt to the wound. Imagine if we ignored it and say, okay, the outcome of what will come out of the court, what will come out of the family conversations, which the president said we are having a conversation outside behind. Even if it is true or not. Why not say, okay, the president is having a conversation, let's leave him to have a conversation. Now, the entire UPND, they all want to talk about this death. And one thing, no. For me, it's really frustrating. Let Edgar Lungu rest. Gabala South Africa is the same death. One day, Ngawakam later to Zambia, that is the best thing. Just leave it.
Can I jump in?
Jump in.
There's one word that I don't like to hear from South Africans: xenophobia.
Mm.
You know, when they start to talk about that word, the
Mm.
the Africanness in us just goes. Abantu, they start to suffer. They are bent in homes. Truck drivers are stopped. It's just become something else. And all this is coming from Edgar. They don't want him to be buried that side. How I wish there was a way for the Lungu family to know that Zambia is bigger than them. And the problems that they will bring about because of one insisting that they bury Edgar that side, it will cost a lot for Zambians. The cost is big. They should just rescind their decision. Swallow their pride as well. They can swallow their pride in the name of national unity.
Wow.
It's not too bad, it's not too late. No. The doors are open.
Nothing.
The doors are open.
I don't support that.
Kateka ilanda chawe, the doors are open. We want to. Let's talk. Number stupid. Naleka.
Okay, Mr. Mwanza, you've been quiet.
Uh, the Lungu thing. Personally, I'll speak for myself. I never really liked Lungu and his PF, but when he passed on, I really felt sorry. It's a lot of sympathy, empathy, whatever you can call it. But I think with what's going on now, I think we've moved on. I have also have a hard time to understand because I think we've all gone through situations of like almost kicking the bucket, but that he sat there and had all this wish list, bitterness and things like that. I've had time with that. That I don't believe that's what Lungu wanted. I think the biggest mistake, in my opinion, is for the family to involve a lawyer as their. You need a lawyer, but a lawyer can't be also be one of your chief negotiators because to them it's a bottom line. Look at this way: if these guys resolve, the government and the family resolve this issue, and then they say Lungu will be buried in Zambia, who's gonna foot the bill? It's be the government. Because now you have come to an agreement, it's no longer the family, whatever legal costs that you have incurred, mortuary, whatever, it will become the government's bill as a show of, you have settled the differences. I don't think the family will be the ones required to pay if they resolve this issue, you know. So for me, I think involving a lawyer was a mistake. They sending the Cavindeles and things like that was the right thing. My also disappointment in South Africa is that we have the Mbekis there, the Zumas there. We helped these guys. It's about time they can talk to the without going through this legal stuff. Just talk to the family, talk to the president. Everybody respects the Mbekis, the Zumas, and things like that. So that's my opinion. Like Mr. Kazia said, I think at the end of the day, if at some point maybe we just leave it. I mean, the caretaker has tried, or the government has tried. At some point, maybe let's just leave it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing, what is this we hear to say?
Oh, before I
They are
forget,
holding on. They are
can I
holding.
cut you a little bit? Can I cut you?
Okay.
We somebody gave a case of Obote. Obote lived in Zambia for 20 years, more than 20 years or so. When he died in South Africa, Zambia asked Uganda if they can bring the body to Zambia because he had lived in Zambia for those years. He came to Zambia. From Zambia, the body was taken to Uganda. I don't think Obote and Museveni were in good terms, but this is there are cases where we can learn, how other countries have done it. It doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah. Maybe the other issue we hear is this ransom. All the cases of corruption for the children and the wife should be dropped. What is it?
That is beans, any beans, yo. Ah. You see, these are the things that are creating a problem, even when people want to sit down and negotiate. You see, Ubu 50, while someone just wakes up and manufactures things that are not there. It's just people need to move. He chose that he's going to.
The cases should be dropped. That's when the body will
There is
come to
nothing
Zambia.
like that. We know where the problem is. Nika body viewing Kaleshu, Papa.
That's blasphemy. Don't say board viewing.
Body viewing
Just say board viewing. That's the language we
okay.
don't want here.
Oh,
Just say board viewing.
I withdraw. I replace it with body viewing.
Better.
Hey, let's fight.
Simono kulanda chaka lisabye kali mu fridge. Why mlelanda so kanchi?
But let me interject too. If the issue is about cases, I think they could have still be handled better. There are a lot. Even I also call him Chembe, like HH. He alluded to that, or he hinted that when he was talking about Chiluba. He said Chiluba had a lot of cases, but when he died, those cases just disappeared. So the family could have used Lungu's death to negotiate for their cases without grandstanding.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Without grandstanding, the cases. I mean, yeah, they have cases, but the president have the prerogative of mercy to find a solution to their issues. but
Yes,
not through Sean Tembo and
but
Nakachinda and all that kind of nonsense. No.
Mm.
yeah, but you see, Mwanza, he
Hmm.
can only exercise that mercy after conviction.
Yes.
He cannot exercise it during the process. And
Yes.
then number two, you have mentioned the Zumas.
Mm.
Why was Zuma sent back? Not given landing rights in Zambia. So those are things that the government has never come back to say, oh, if this we didn't do. You know the problem that also is with your government, whenever you PND, is this. When something, if it is true, an accusation has been made, there's just silence. Just silence. Nobody talks about it. Nobody even answers it. When it is challenged, quiet. You will not hear a minister correct it. Or no,
I
they
also say
pretend
that.
like nothing has happened.
I also say that's UPND's weakness.
Yes.
But yes.
You see, so mama na bamwanza. So ngababoma nechishinga, they pretend and then they come and twist things in a certain direction. Then you're asking them, but this you didn't comment on it. Why are you moving on it? And you see, it's very important. If it is true, it is acknowledged, and the reasons are given why. If it is a suspicion that we don't trust why he was coming in, and you just give the Zambians what is there. Don't look the other way. Mwekala fi quiet. What if you chitike? There are a lot of mistakes that have been done in terms of handling this funeral. It have handled we know. And you see, if you
Mm.
them that challenge up, that guy with Frank Zimba, what was he saying about this here? What was he saying now? These are prominent UPND supporters, and you find them with ministers, you find them even at State House. They are there. But they are the ones that use so much of the demeaning, derogatory language. And nobody's telling them, if you are actually creating a problem for us. See?
Well, Rakazia, I think this issue, um, I think it's been provoked both ways. And me personally, the way I look at it is that if I was from the Lungu family, if I was one of the Lungu members or people that are elders in the Lungu family, I would have preferred not to have a fight with the government, because the government is the government at the end of the day. No matter how you've got you've got different ideas, different political ideas. At the end of the day, there's one government in play, and there's one government in position, and there's one president. What they're doing as a family with their lawyer Makebi Zulu is something that's never, ever, ever, ever been done before. And they're trying, even if you go down into the PF brass, the big heads, the big wigs, they're using the same thing. It's like the same formula. If you listen to what they're saying when they go on any platform, they are using Valungu as a campaign material. Valungu is gone. Valungu is dead. You cannot use him as a campaign material. Okay? If you listen to what Vice President Valandire, it's like you're trying to resurrect a ghost or something. You don't do those things. It's uncultural.
Just
It's
look at that talk.
it's unprofessional. But look, Moneni, at the end of the day, it would have been nice for the Lungu family to just follow the government program. They will be in Zambia. But HH is not an unreasonable man. I think we have all seen it. He's not an unreasonable man. And is not bad hearted as some PF.
Only this one is being unreasonable.
No,
As
no, no.
bad-hearted as
It's not that.
Edgar. Than
Oh,
as bad-hearted as
let-
Edgar.
can I finish? Can I finish? Can I
He's
finish?
being worse on that one.
Can I finish? Can I finish? So this is not up to this is not the doing of HH. It's the family side. They're the ones. He's just responding, and he hasn't even responded. He's just looking and waiting for them to calm down. Okay? Me, if I was HH, I would have gone a different route. You and I know, like any ordinary Zambian would have gone a different route. But look at the way HH has portrayed himself in all this situation. Okay, he's not trying to aggravate the situation. He's just saying, guys, can we sit down? Even the other day, yesterday, I was still saying we're open. We're still privately talking. Okay, if really they want to come back, because this looks like this was a long time plan. That's why they already have a house there. They've got a huge mansion. Believed they have a huge mansion. So it's something that's been planned. That was, I think, their plan B. So they just want to stick to it, and that's it. They're not interested in coming back to Zambia.
Those are eyes na imubachanda.
No, 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 no. How would a normal or an ordinary Zambian look at it? The president is saying, "Lekeni tushike abantu no muchinji at awe tatrefwa tumushike para."
A conversation bachande tetive sorted out when there are two positions that have been taken. If we take two positions, if you and me don't agree, you cannot impose your thought on me. I can't impose mine on you. This is where things are. Even when the entire UPND structure is saying until Edgar Lungu's body comes back and be buried in Zambia at whatever cost, ignore the family and everything. The entire PF structure is saying no. We don't agree with the way you are proceeding on this matter. Now, Iliat Nicho Chise, you may not like ECL, you may not like whatever, but the thing that has happened requires a solution. Even where the entire UPN structure has gone to defend that HH must be there. And the entire PF structure is saying no. The wishes of the ECL when he was dying was that HH should not be there. But that is questioned. You have a right to question it. But in the case where you do not agree, what do you do? Because forcing matters will not work. This funeral, this Ichiriwechi, ukupatikete Chibombe. He wanted to be buried in a private ceremony as an ordinary person, the way the way his status was at death, and that must be respected. Let's leave it at that. If everyone said today that we are just wasting money and time, ukuya mukusa organize to talk protest in South Africa, it's just wasting money and time. Sending Chavinga there now is demanding guys mpeleni ndalama mpela abantu echa protest and all that. There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need. I think the president has tried what he needed to do. So it's time for him also to move back and say, I have done my best. Let me move on. He is not moving on. That is where the problem is. But HH needs to move on. He's done his part. He tried. It has failed. Let him move on.
Okay. So I think unless we need to move on, unless there's
Danny
somebody wants
hasn't
to.
said anything.
Raya, Radani,
Yeah.
Radani, you have been called.
I've just been listening. To me, as I said last week, this problem has so many facets. But the biggest problem I've seen myself here is the belief in witchcraft. That's the biggest problem here. As someone
The
who
nail
believes
on
in
the head,
witchcraft,
Madan. Hammer the nail on the head.
okay, this is the key here. We are beating about the bush here, there.
Magic.
This is all about black magic belief system.
Mm,
Whether you like it or not, this is the problem we have here.
mm-hmm.
Okay? Someone
Wanga.
somewhere believes in black magic. That's why we're having this problem right now.
Mm.
That's the way, Pela. Let's
Can,
not
Uh,
can,
beat
can,
about the
can you
bush.
can you elaborate on that one? Like,
Madan is right.
no,
I'm
can
telling
no.
you,
I know. Can you elaborate about Danny on this one? Because you're saying
the
somebody
problem
believes.
is when we look at the logistic, I mean,
Mm,
when we look at it from an argument of whether politics or human rights or
mm,
this or that, all these arguments we're making don't make sense. First of all, when someone dies, those people remaining behind, they make peace with the living. Or that's how humans exist. Okay, when this guy here, is it Einstein, whatever, the guy who was molesting children with the in America, when they found him dead in the cell, the victims made peace with his family. That's what happens. He was molesting children, yes, but after that, you make peace with the living people you are gonna remain on this planet with. You don't say, as long as we remain alive here, we make peace with the guy who has died. It doesn't make sense. So from the Lungu's point of view, family point of view, the argument doesn't make sense to me. They want to remain in peace with the dead body and not the people they're going to be living with in the next 100 years, as if they are also dead. No, you don't stay in agreement with a dead body. You make peace with the living people you're going to be living with. So from their point of view, to me, it doesn't make any sense
No,
to
it
say
doesn't.
we're gonna stick with the dead bodies thing until we die as well. I'm gonna join him we'll join him when we die in 24 days.
The dead know nothing.
The dead know nothing. You
Correct.
cannot make peace. You cannot make enmity with a living person in front of you based on a dead body. You can't. It doesn't make sense. Never.
Like any Zambian is
Not a Zambian, all human beings on this planet. There's nobody who says, even the most horrendous tyranny who killed millions of people, when he dies, the people who remain behind, they say, let's make peace. That guy is gone. We are the living. Okay, so from that point of view, it doesn't make sense. The Lungu's family argument to me doesn't make sense. Secondly, government. Okay, the government point of view as well for saying no, we have to see the body, we have to do this, we insist we have to do this. To me, it doesn't make sense as well. Okay, because what's the use of you insisting that you want to see the body, you want to be there, you want to be there? It doesn't make sense as well. So either the Lungu family or the government of Zambia, they believe in something which is out of this logical thinking. Someone is believing in witchcraft here. Okay? It's either the Lungu family thinking, oh, the body will be manipulated witchcraftly, whatever, or the government are saying, oh, we have to do this. Someone is, I'm telling you, this is the truth.
Or the person they don't want is also doing that.
So this is the key here, because we're Africans who believe in this black magic thing, and people don't want to say the truth. The problem we are having right now has nothing to do with logic, nothing to do with the law, the constitution, or no. People, let's be factual. We are arguing here because the two parties believe in witchcraft. Napela.
The empty grave. Ati imanda ile ito wakulalamo. So ngatamushikilemo. Mukashikamo wenu.
Yeah,
To be honest, this argument,
ofo mwingalala ndana mwe bakazia na imwe vyo.
Landa ati if ever done balelanda. The theory of the empty grave, suspicion of witchcraft.
No, but Danny didn't talk about the grave. Yeah, the one who's talking about the grave.
And actually, you heard that, but Dan didn't talk. It's me talking about it, and I've a right to talk about it. Have I not? Is it not there?
So
But
to
not
be
over
honest,
someone's death, Naimwa.
we're just acting like people who lived in many centuries ago, because
Practicing
we are
witchcraft.
using the constitution, using this for no. The constitution doesn't support this type of thing. The logic is not there. Whatever the Lungu family say, it doesn't make sense, and whatever my government is insisting, to me,
Doesn't make sense.
let them bury. What's the key thing is just let them bury their person, and that's it. What's the problem? So the only thing that come in mind is that someone is believing in something which doesn't exist, and that's witchcraft. That's it. That's the problem we're having here, and the Zambians don't want to talk about it. I'm telling you, because from and I'm an academician myself, I look at the left side of a problem, the right side of a problem, and then I see it. Here,
And the center part. No, not just the left and right. And the center also. From
Yeah,
the center part, yes.
nothing. So the only thing here is because we're Africans. We are believing in something which doesn't exist called witchcraft. That's it.
Mood, mood, mood.
Amwanza, ngedani moni timvere.
Sorry, on what witchcraft?
I don't even know because me,
Ati
I don't
mtema
believe in
itana,
witchcraft really.
Mwanza.
So the,
I
the,
don't
the,
believe in
the,
it.
I think they believe in some of that, honestly,
Yes,
because, like I said,
itana.
I don't understand. I don't think someone who is about to kick the bucket or sit down and put that wish list. Nakurodi ko pitida when the coffin comes from Mulungushi house
Where it's to pass.
Chifema Road. I've never heard. I've never heard that.
The
So,
Mama Road is a residence of Mwanza. It's not
pardon
the
me?
road. It's a
Huh?
residence.
Yeah, so from because the boat were supposed to come, then take to
But
Mulungushi every
you don't
day.
pass through Cairo Road.
Yes, like so many wish lists, but sometimes I also believe that was probably their plan B. Because Lungu's illness, he knew about his illness in 2015. He knew he was gonna die. This thing, they delayed the the what do you call, access to medication. Yeah, I mean, it's what do you call, half dozen the truth, but uh, cancer of the esophagus. I'm not a medical doctor, but even here, you won't be. You know, you someday you're not gonna live long, right? So maybe that was their plan B. But let's use this plan B to bring UPND down, because these guys are using the body or the death as their campaign message or manifesto. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's possible it could have been their plan B.
In fact,
It could be a plan B. Yeah.
Mwanza,
Yes.
anyone in politics, people use whatever opportunity that the other group presents to it.
Yeah. Okay.
UPND use the treason.
Okay. Let me maybe add.
Mhm.
I think where these guys have missed, and that's my opinion again. If Lungu's body had come, I think they have actually helped the government and the HH than anything else. If the body had come 2 days or so after the passing of Lungu, and knowing I call NPF, it could have been a different story. I was there when Sata passed on. I was even on that Great North Road when he came from the airport. Can you imagine if Lungu's body had come within a day or so of his passing? By just prolonging this, whether it's witchcraft or not, I think they're just, in a way, people have moved on.
Mwanza, me, I don't take it that way. This doesn't help government either, because you see, this shows that, in fact, what you have said that, of course, Walungu was aware about his health condition. Government was aware.
Yes.
So to start stopping him from accessing medication was a wrong thing altogether. And that mistake should have been acknowledged that it was a mistake. From government actor itself, government should have acknowledged that that was a problem that was done not in good faith.
Sembanamuleka azifera yeka, yeah.
Ah, that is better, because Kuzifera is,
Yeah.
you cannot assist me to die and say
Yes.
that now you are going to come and claim to be my friend. Ngati nifuna kuzifera, nikunileka nazifera. Don't take part in my death. By your decision, because you have power now, then you want to take part, and then later on you want to claim that you are my friend, and now I become almost important. It is what has created the problem. Now let's move fast back on. The non-acknowledgement and non-apology from government for that big error that they did. Instead, you unleash the cadres to start ridiculing, demeaning ECL, and hoping that now let's have a conversation and sit down. I worked in labor relations, where trade unions and employers usually fight. And one of the things that I learned was what was called social dialogue. You have to bring the parties together and listen to the concerns of the other person. Do not ever demean the concerns of the other person like they don't matter, only yours matter. You can never sort out a problem. What are the concerns? How do you resolve? What is it that you agree to? What is it that you don't agree to? Why are you not agreeing to these things? And then also, what is coming out of people's mouth at a very high level. For instance, imagine if Vajak Mwimbu or Vanarumango kept quiet about it. He said, no, I can't comment on that because it's an ongoing process. People are still having conversations. Then we are expecting them to show leadership. And then they go to be the ones to demean it. Then what? How are you going to do with a cadre who is saying that's frozen fish? How are you going to do it?
But can I ask a question, interject and ask a question? This apology, what is the government supposed to apologize
Okay.
about?
Let me
I'm
answer.
having problems with that one too.
What government needed to apologize for is this: the stopping of Edgar Lungu to access medication by Deputy Secretary to Cabinet. That was in error because it triggered the roller coaster of the quick transition into death. That was a mistake. I never expected that the government would stop someone who you have the record. If you didn't have the record, that is different. But not when you know this is a routine medical checkup that the person is supposed to have. And apparently that is the person who is supposed to be who is your former head of state. And he's not asking for you to pay for his support. He's saying, I can go on my own. This is a routine thing. Then you stop it from happening. That was a mistake. For me, that is where the problem is. We needed government to show remorse on that, not to come and dive in and dig it like it was right to do it. No.
Oh, I think we need to move ahead. It's very controversial anyway. In any case, now let's look at the politics side. It has been a ban of using regalia from a party that is not participating in a campaign. There's been questions on in how that is constitutionally legal and stuff like that. I don't know who has information on this one, and if people can chime in and say like, look, if I'm a PF and I'm wearing a PF regalia, but the party that is standing is the Citizen First, then I shouldn't wear a PF regalia. I should wear a Citizen First regalia, not a PF regalia. That's the way I understand it.
Which parties are on the ballot paper?
I don't, whichever, like it's this is now general, like ECZ, it's a ECZ thing. It's in their constitution.
Yeah, but
So
if I'm also to ask which parties are on the ballot paper for that particular election,
I
is
think the
PF
next
there?
one is what? Is it in full? I think in full.
Is PF has PF got a candidate?
No, they don't.
Is there a Tonse Alliance candidate?
I don't think that. I think there must be somebody from. What are they using? They use what's his name? The other guy. I forget the party. There's the one party that they use. They stand
Then
behind him.
they can quickly make regalia for that.
Citizen collegian or citizen first, something like that. I know there's a
Then
part
they
they are
should just
using.
Yeah, I can't
quickly
understand
make
it.
regalia. There should also be regalia for Tonse Alliance. You know, it's bringing a lot of disturbance. Just
Mm,
Tonse Alliance having a symbol and the regalia. All this,
mm,
we cannot be talking about it. But they're not doing it. Why? They're not sure. How can you
mm.
trust them, surely? No leaders, no regalia, my leg for the vote. No, not possible.
Yeah. Wakazia, what's happening here?
We are just showing our primitivity. That is exactly what we were showing there. Just 2 years ago, 3 years, 4 years ago, there were by-elections. And UPND was in an alliance. Vamutatu was in his MDC T-shirt and the pictures are everywhere. Nobody was stopping anyone from wearing anything. And apparently, that is also has been what the president said, President HH himself. You can wear whatever you want anywhere. No one is going to stop you from doing it. So it's starting to go, that's just going to be primitive. Because there is no law that stops a person from wearing that. This is that wants to create a law for themselves and just that is just total nonsense. We are just trying to be primitive for nothing. Surely in this day and age, ufere t-shirt pali Edgar Lungu, therefore you can't be showing Okolea, you can't be found in a constituency, you can't go on the campaign. It's akufwala. I think we should be able to, even when people suggest this, we must be able to say, guys, naimwe, ubutu tutule ilango.
Te
This is
suggestion bakaziya mumfwene bakaziya te suggestion.
which
It's in the ECZ's
no,
constitution.
the ECZ has no constitution.
What you call it? ECZ laws and regulation.
Which section of the ECZ? Maybe I must be educated as well.
Yes, it's there. In fact, it was done. It was done way before 2016 when the PF was in power. That's when it was. That's when they passed this kind of law.
But these are the things you yourselves, UPND, you said this doesn't make sense. You yourselves.
No, but we have to follow what the law says.
Why are you doing them yourselves?
No, we have to follow. If we to conquer fear, ifunde ngabalanda
mafunde tulango obututu bachanda bachanda. It's not about UPND. It's Zambian. You see, when we make a law, it's not about UPND or PF. That's where the problem has been. You call some laws that these are PF laws, these are UPND laws. And this is also the problem that we're having in the country. We become to be divided on something that's supposed to be this. It makes sense for all of us. This doesn't make sense. Even if it is in the law, we are not going to enforce it because it doesn't make sense. There are things that are in the law which you cannot enforce because if you are federal, we repealed a 1933 Employment of Young Persons and Children's Act, which were the exploitative clauses in them. I don't know, but you said no, because 1933 quite the exploitation, therefore, the law let's exploit the people. No, some things are just common sense. It doesn't, because we have transgressed that law like crazy from 2016 when it was up to 2025, 10 years. Then the law is land at number 10 to Ibushi. Even the elections that you had last year, this year, if you whereby you said the guardian, the law. Is this when you want to enforce it? If you didn't enforce it when you have been using it, how do we hold you accountable for not enforcing it? Because, okay, thank you very much, you enforce it. Why didn't you enforce it in the previous elections when it was still law? What do we do to you who did not enforce it in 2024 when there was Kawambwa by-election? Why didn't you enforce it? And you are still in office. It's the same law which has been there. So what should we do to you for not enforcing it? We must deal with you because it means you broke the law as well for failure to enforce the law. So what should we do to you? If you enforce that law, what should we do to you for not enforcing what you already know has been in the law? By the way, ignorance of law is not defense. Let's live above these kind of things. And let's tell people that want to enforce it that Apamune, you are wrong. Okay, Romisi, you are telling us this. Why didn't you enforce it in Kawambwa? Why didn't you enforce it in Lumezi just recently? So why did you fail to enforce the law? We will hold you accountable for non-enforcement of the law. Because
what does everybody think on this one? Now, maybe we start with Bamwanza. Mkambapo bwanje mdala palinkani.
This one, I'm not sure really. I really don't have. I don't know what it's in the electoral. Electoral, what do you call laws, regulations, or something like that.
It's actually there. I'll pull it up and I'll post it per page.
It's there. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's there, then the issue of saying why didn't they not use it in the past, and what there has to be a first time, I think, to use it. So and again, if it's part of the ECZ, I would say, I mean, there has to be a point where they have to use it. I don't know what problem it creates. But here's another issue of this regalia. This is why I say I in Zambia, I farm when I'm there. When you go to the market, sometimes you also understand what is on the ground. During the time of PF, right? just because somebody was wearing PF, doesn't mean they are PF. One of the women that I supply tomatoes and vegetables, he said, "Bamanza, even if kumanyumba, ni vikoropo, ni curtains or what? Yes, even at the farm, one of my workers, his curtains, he had the PF chitenje. And these are UPND guys. So, and the UPF printed a lot of these things during the campaign. So sometimes we just disturb the hornet nest for nothing. I don't know what problem it really creates. We are no longer like doing the PF where somebody's going to be beaten for wearing a certain regalia. So I really don't have a strong opinion on this one.
You
Yeah.
know, there's one lady in Malawi.
Mwanza kambani che mwachilungamo.
No, this one just adding on what Mwanza is saying. Kulimsikana ku Malawi anaenda pa TV ukamba ineni mwena pangira ndalama zanga kusupply ya material yaba PF ndio mwena pangira ndalama zanga. Very beautiful lady. He said I'm a millionaire now because nizo supply material yama PF campaign. But they were even dogs they were able the PF regalia. Kulikonze
Nemwe benefo muchita.
ichimuti chonse bechali in PF.
Bachanda, nemwe benefo muchita. Mufini mulelanda. You are doing that this time 2025. Imwe. Fimwe vintu tufa ukula kwata pama conversation na imwe.
So area shiri report the PF regalia is everywhere. Like Bamwanza is saying. You know, it's everywhere in every district. It's there. You know, and it's not. We're actually people that the good part is this. There are no those enforcers. Whenever register higher by PF. Aba muno muntu nafwala UPND bamu tuchunganya. Bamwe bati fualage icho chifule fualage ekiripo. They were forcing people. They were forcing people and individuals and Zambians to say, this is what we. That's what is in the realm of dictatorship. Because if you look at Ngaulenda from Cairo Road, where the city market, I was very sad one time I was watching two girls, they were walking. I think they were coming, I don't know where they were coming from, Nishinaba Fuala. If you read, yeah, my guys, if you have a chuchunga. One old lady, one of the marketeer had to step in and say, oh, you can't do this to these girls. You know, that's how savagery Zambia was heading to. Now you can imagine if we had to bring back that kind of savagery.
That's what you want to do through these things that you are making now.
I rest my case. But Danny. But Danny, are you there? It looks like what Danny is away. In case we move ahead. We need to move ahead.
Vamacha tavarandire.
Vamacha. Mwami. Oh, what did I do? Mwami. Mwami, can you go ahead?
Hello?
Hello, can you go ahead, Mr. Imwami?
Yes. You know, this we're on the same board, yeah?
Yes.
We just have to look at other issues now. The issue of the body is gone now. We need to move on and do something else.
No. We're talking about the regalia. Sorry.
Oh, the regalia. Listen, this thing, the PF now are testing their own medicine. There was one time when I went to see my good friend. It's called Chanda Kazia. He was permanent secretary at you know where government office is, eh?
Yes, I know it is. Yes.
I was in my red union t-shirt as a teacher,
Mhm.
sestuz,
Eh,
red on a Friday. Naisa pita ku intercity kulia. No, that's the route you can pass, especially if you're coming through Levy. Naisa pita ku intercity. Yeah,
eh.
yeah, 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 yeah. I had to run into a taxi up to Levy Mall because my shirt was red. I was
Hmm.
UPND. Those thugs almost killed me. So now
Hmm.
the PF are testing their own medicine. It's good.
So that's your personal
Yes,
experience,
yes,
real
personal
life
experience.
experience.
Yes.
The only thing that I came to know is that, and from 20, I don't know what year that was, to date, I never knew that that even happened to my friend Marsh. He only
Huh?
came to tell me when I'm in Canada now.
Oh yes, yes.
Mm.
How can I explain to you?
But
Okay, okay.
but you know that at least where I used to work, I would not tolerate that. That you knew.
No, you were above board. You were above board.
That one I would not tolerate.
You were above board. No, you can't sing. You couldn't sing solo. You are your own man, and maybe that's what costed your job.
Oh
You were
no, the
supposed
job.
to be. You were
No,
supposed to be a praise singer.
no, but
You were supposed to be a praise singer. You mean you can't
Vamwanza
be a
mrefu Vamwanza. Where is Vamwanza going?
you mean you can't be a praise singer at
Yes.
your age?
Vamwanza,
You
have
can't
you
be a
listened that I should have been a praise singer, not to be my
yes,
own man, a
yes.
professional civil servant? Can you
No,
believe that?
Hmm?
no. Supposed to have been a praise singer.
Now
Well,
Yes.
that has never
Vubu
been my nature. You see,
Vubuntela. Hmm?
Vamwanza,
Hmm.
I had worked for 28 years in public service.
Hmm.
And I had worked in all governments, by the way, up to the
Hmm.
time I was leaving.
Hmm.
So I knew and I know exactly how the transitions were happening from UNIP to MMD comes in, MMD to PF to UPND. I actually worked in UPND government. I saved for a month.
Hmm.
I was there in the ministry.
Hmm.
So I've seen transitions and I've known what not to do. One of the things you should never do, and I tell my civil servants, I was permanent secretary, I was being interviewed on by Innocent at the movie at the time. And he asked me a question to say, if President HH won and he gave you a position, would you accept? I said, I serve at the pleasure of the presidency. And being a civil servant, I am not political, I'm not a partisan. That is why you can check anywhere. You will never find me at a political rally. I was never attended any political rally, political meetings. No. I was a civil servant. And the civil servants serve across board. If people at UPND came to my office, which they did, Mulenga Chirungamo, if he was listening, would tell you that he came with a group of UPND people that had been fired, they were reinstated, they were paid. So when you work in the public service, do not ever attempt to turn political. Because the moment you turn political, the next government whoever comes, you are the first target. You become the first target. Now, there was so much of lies that the people threw to President HH and everything, such that he abandoned everything he ever said to us. He abandoned. If you take the first victory speech he gave at his house, you put it here and read it, Mwanza. Read word for word and check what is happening now. You will know what I'm talking about. Because of these people that wanted positions without the right education and right experience, they went and mudslung everybody. I give credit to President ECL. When he appointed me, I was never near anywhere where he would have said, oh, this one. He saw me through my work, not through my political lens. And when he was appointed, it came even as a shock, like, oh, I've been appointed? And he gave me one thing. He just asked me one thing. You do your job and do it to the best of how you've been doing it. That is all. Never got interfered with. That is why you see the the labor sector being stable. We never interfered with this. But the union environment is a very tricky environment. They are very, very tricky. They backstab each other. They switch. They can throw you under the bus anytime. I was listening to what Chewe was talking about. Oh, my friend was done this. The next thing, the president gives him now a piece of the test, and now he's lost. Doesn't even know what to do because he was busy promoting someone there, and then the president immediately hits back. So I
Yeah.
had a lot of experience about these transitions. That's why some of the things that I watch now, I never even saw them when I was working because I was never that person who was going to engage myself in politics. It was about work, 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 work. That's all I knew.
I so interject. I agree with you. I think I don't know where civil servants uh, culture changed. Maybe it is when MMD started.
Chiluba changed it,
Yes. Back when we used to work with the Mukutus as PS, these were PSs, they were civil servants. Like it didn't matter really. Of course, we're not gonna bash Kaunda in public, but if they are going the wrong, we find the ways to, diplomatically, your boss is your boss, to
we
tell
were
him, no, that's not the way it works, A, B, C, D. But then it changed. The people we have now, that's why they call some of us troublemakers, because we are praise singers, but when it doesn't make sense, we speak out and say, I don't think that's supposed to be the way. And so I have seen that in the current government, when we contribute, if it's contrary to what they believe, they don't like it. It's like
you
you're in
become
trouble.
PF at that point in time.
Yeah,
You yourself,
you
Bamwanza,
become
you
a
become PF.
troublemaker. That's why they call some of us. But all of us, I think, here on this forum, we have worked here. You are in very high profile. You see it here. It's all about work.
Chapa.
Yeah, you don't tell your boss what you want. Actually, you
Yeah.
get fired by telling the boss what he wants to hear or she
Yeah.
wants to hear. You do your job. If you can even give them options. This option A would. These are the consequences. These are the benefits. A, B, C, D. The boss can still say, "Me, I'm gonna modify option B. I'll go." At least when it backfires, you gave them all the options. This thing of praise singing, vuvuzelas, and telling what the boss wants to hear and civil service. After MMD, we lost the civil service. You know.
And they've just increased in number now. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. And you see, you tell them they have increased to the level that
Okay.
you ask them, where did you even get? You find they challenge you. Me, I get shocked where someone challenges me on my direct experience and direct documents, and some documents I have them. And someone
Mm.
comes to challenge you and to tell them, no, things are not done that way. They were done A, B, C, D, and there's proof. For instance, right now, Bamanza, there's a pension reform process which is going on. And I was challenging them, say, guys, why are we reinventing the wheel? Why is it that now you send people to go and just spend money in the provinces and say we are gathering information when the document is seated at cabinet? Everything that, including a draft law, it is there at cabinet. Cabinet said it's just a few things that can be aligned to make sure that the policy and the framework under which the UPND wants to perform is put in there.
It was a
You
PF
go back to
document.
what?
It was a PF document.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead, guys. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. So the next topic is Christopher Kangombe was in Parliament, and he was talking about Zambians owning.
Where
He
is
had a very
Vadani? Vadani is not talking. Where Vadani? Mwenishani mwekalazi.
it's
It
good.
was
He'll
digested.
be he'll be no he'll
If
be
fishing, let us know. Are you fishing?
Mwema experienced civil servants.
no he'll be the
Imena
first person to
Bamwanza.
talk on this one on this topic that we're going in. You'll be the first person to talk. So embrace yourself,
To be the
Badani.
first
So
one.
but Christopher Kangombe went on a I don't know if I want to call it a rampage, but he went on in Parliament and he gave this speech about why and he was trying to find out why Zambians, or why us Zambians don't own our own mines, and why we're not taking advantage of the new minerals that have been discovered across the country, especially the gold mine that was discovered recently in Mufumbwe. We're saying, can we tap into that and make it 100% Zambian? Let's not call in investors, because Zambia can do it. And looking at the history of mining in Zambia, it started in the 30s, 1930s. So we're saying, with all this experience that we've had all these across the years, why can't we have our own mine that we can call this is ours? We employ our own Zambian people. Other than all the time we have to call in investors to say, oh, investors, can you come and bring your money? And then we they own the majority and we own the minority shares. So he had that question, he posed it, and I think there was a response from the Minister of Mines. Wakabuse responded to that. But Danny, can you elaborate on this one? And I'm sure you've been following what's been happening in Parliament.
Is the Kangombe's suspension over already? How long was it? I thought it was
No,
suspended.
not Kangombe. This is Christopher. This is not
Oh, it's the other one.
Christopher. Yeah,
Oh,
this is Christopher.
the reasonable man. I like Kangombe. Oh, that's
Yeah,
it. That's it. Not the
no, no, no,
not the
not
guy.
Uriana and Kanoria. No.
I confused the two.
Not
Anyway,
Binwe Bundu.
Not
not
in
the
Pund, not Binwell, not Binwell.
Oh, okay.
Because they were same group with Balangala Pamo, Binwell.
Those are best friends, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
confuse the two all the time. But I like Kangombe. It's very, very reasonable. So to me, it borders on the reason why people don't realize the reason why we're having these problems. We didn't invest money in exploration, mineral exploration in our country for a long time. The moment we discovered our copper ore, body ores in the copper belt, and then we started getting a lot of money, we literally forgot about exploring the whole country nicely. All right. So we explored a little bit of the copper belt. We saw a lot of mineral deposits in terms of copper and cobalt and all these big mines, and then that was it. We didn't realize that we have more than just copper. All right. So now that the new Dawn government has brought in this new mineral exploration people, the Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Amazon guy, to come to Zambia. They are in Zambia right now with their companies. A lot of these precious minerals now are going to be um, discovered in people's land. That's one big problem. Okay, on people's
Mm,
titled lands.
mm,
Okay, um, I know that the PF at one time had put a law that says whatever you find in your land, the government will have a share of it automatically, whatever. But I don't know whether this government has followed up on that one.
mm,
But going forward with the new Elon Musk exploration techniques, we're going to discover a lot of these precious minerals somewhere here, there, and there, and all. So we should get ready in terms of making laws that are going to streamline the way we're going to deal with these discoveries. Because now the exploration technology has advanced, and the exploration is done by people sitting there in California. They're exploring our minerals and they just give us the results. That's how complex it has become. Okay, satellite imaging and all that type of thing. So we're gonna get these things. So I think as a government or as a people, we need to put in place rules, very, very clearly stated rules. For example, what are we going to do with that guy where gold has been discovered on his land and people has encroached after the people have encroached on his land. There were 25,000, whatever, there were thousands of them that just, went to his land and they started digging with the picks and shovels and all that. So we need something that, again, MPs, our parliamentarians, should act quickly the way the British parliamentarians do. You know, the British parliamentarians will, the moment something like that happened, they'll call for emergency meetings, emergency thing, and then they'll tackle it immediately. But our MPs are talking about, yeah. The things are there, the problems are there. Instead of solving some of these immediate problems, for example, they are not even talking about it in Parliament. So it's very, very disappointing. But yes, we need to start owning these mines. But the first thing we have to do is to know what we have. And once we know what we have, there should be rules and regulations as how to handle that, especially now that most of the land in Zambia is in private hands. We need to come up with clearly stated rules that are going to explain what we're going to do once we discover minerals in someone's on someone's farm. That's what I have to say.
Mr. Hamwami.
You own the land, but not the minerals. What is on the surface is yours. Underground, it's not yours. I end.
that's a good one. Mr. Mwanza.
Yeah, just a minor correction to what I think it was Daniel was speaking. Actually, the exploration thing is not being done now. It was actually, there was a project that was commissioned last year, I think by whether it was an American company or something like that, to map the mineral deposits of Zambia, of all the minerals. I think that's why I'm beginning to suspect maybe, and that was done. Maybe somebody has inside information and leaking to the locals what is there, in their communities. So I'm not sure about that. It's just speculation. But the if you have title deeds, I have a copy of the. Oh shoot!
Go ahead. You've got a copy? Oh, Mr. Mwanza seems to have dropped down. He said he had a copy of the title deed or something like that. Or maybe he's looking for it.
I
So,
think the power is gone or something.
oh,
Just,
okay.
just because of talking about the same title. Mama na nomba.
Matitle deed yarishuka.
Yeah, yeah,
Yarishuka matitle.
no,
Nomba
mama na.
mona okay. Va mashina bakazia. I think this issue we need to look at it.
You see, I think for me, we have had a very serious conversation around mining. And one of the things is that I had a chance to inspect all the mines,
Mm,
at least the ones that were in existence and the ones that had come on the scene.
mm,
Mhm.
And some of them had even gone underground. That's why you remember I was very upset, and I'm still very upset about Mopani because I went there, I was underground. One of the things is, Kangombe is right. What I saw in these mines is that we just get a raw deal. Nothing else. We just get a raw deal. We can never ever develop using our mineral resources by salaries because the taxes, when they are paid, we again use them for services. We use them for the hospitals, use them for education, we use them for infrastructure. So,
Recurrent
times,
expenditure.
yes, recurrent expenditure allowances for people to go and camp in South Africa. And others, do you know how much money people make? The moment the president opens his mouth, and this is something that I need to tell you, colleagues, maybe you are not aware, but Macha knows. In Zambia, if the president said, "Oh, you see, we need to make sure that we understand what is actually going on in these minerals," Minister of Mines, you have a task to make sure that you go and find out on this. He is a blank check. It's a blank check given
mm,
because all he would do, he will retreat to the ministry, write a position paper to finance to say the
mm,
president has said I should go to these things, and it determines the size of the the delegation. And
mm,
each of those delegations, they are paid money. And if the president makes a mistake of making a call for international kind of stakeholder checkout,
mm,
he's given again authority to travel immediately because they will write arising from what you said, Your Excellency, what. So we are proceeding to Ghana for the next 1 month. with a team of whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 15 people. And those 15 people that are going to travel, they will be, if it is at my level which I was, there is some money that is given. When you are below
How,
my level, I
how
will not
much?
mention mine.
How,
I'll
how
mention
much?
Bahala's.
How much?
$365 per day.
How much?
Excuse me.
365 US dollars per day.
D-
Now,
uh,
Is that anywhere?
Even on Saturday and Sunday.
no, that is when
Even
you're
on
traveling
Saturday and
out of
Sunday.
Africa.
I'm back.
When it is within Africa, it's 300 and even Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. So if it is 1
What
week, if
about
it is
outside?
10
What
days,
about outside Africa?
outside Africa is 365
Okay.
per day, plus the air ticket has been given. Now, think about it. If someone has gone for 10 days, that
Mm.
is, he is made 3,600 and whatever. So, do you tell me when he gets back, he has saved the 2,000, he spent 1,500? He's as 50,000 kwacha immediately.
Mm.
Or he has, if it is 2,000 now, he has almost 60,000 when it was 50,000 in 10 days, and he comes back. And then this is why these ministers can never stay at home. And all that money that is getting there,
Uh,
it is getting into their pockets, and it is getting into, and you can never come and take them to court. That is why Vadani na Mwanza, you should understand when you see that all of a sudden this guy had nothing, but he's a minister now. He's owning property. If you try to investigate him, you will not find any money stolen. He's just being overpaid. So some of these monies that are
Now,
there
no, no, no,
go
no, no,
to
no, no.
these matters.
Not,
I am
not at that
telling you,
level. Not at that level. Not at that level.
Batanda,
However,
I am telling you as a person coming from the same system. I don't even know why you want to argue with me.
no, I'm not
no, we are not
arguing that.
arguing. We are not arguing. In fact, I have a question. And how many times did you ever go on vacation leave as permanent
Not
secretary?
vacation, work, vacation. Oh no, vacation I did. I did a lot of vacation. Every year I would go myself. I would take leave and have someone else to act in the office. And that is also part of what you bring to leadership transitions. Is a permanent must go on leave. You leave another person seated in your office to act.
Mhm. Mhm.
You see? And those people that you see hanging on, they cannot leave. And this is the money that has confused the Pilato, it has confused the Kangwachile, it has confused Tabokawan. Because they have not grown in the system to know how
Okay,
to
that's
manage.
confused. Well,
I'm
how do you
telling
know that
you.
has confused them?
You can see the attitude that they have when they are being corrected, and how they cannot say when you hear Vamwanza or Vadani or ever say something wrong, how they quickly the next day come and say you are a problem. When did you become a problem? When you were supporting them in elections, you were not a problem. Now you're a problem because you tell them something is wrong. They tell the president what he wants to hear. So this money that is coming from the mines is being spent in all these recurrent projects. So, but if we own, then there's double money that comes: one in taxes, two in dividends. Imagine we are having 60% of $5.6 billion that last year we got as the revenue, um, the money that transacted through copper, not really the taxes. It was 6 billion. Imagine we got our share. And me, I have been one of those proponents saying, let's have the majority shareholding and have a management contract for people to run the mines. You don't need to run the mine. We have no know-how of how to run, maybe probably with latest technologies and stuff like that. But you can contract a management team that is just specialized in running a mine. But your profits are yours.
Okay.
So let's
But
move in that
there was
direction.
Mindeko. There was Mindeko. There was ZCCM.
We
Charishani.
fixed what was not broken, by the way. You must understand some of those things. We did not go to learn to say, okay, where are the problems in this, and then just fix the problems. We picked the water and the baby together, wala, to aposa. And these are the
Oh,
things
after
that
bathing the baby, we threw it
uh-huh,
together with the water.
with the water. Wow. Mwachara mwikata fe dishi. And
Anyway,
this
Mwanza is back. I think you're saying something. I think he didn't finish and then he dropped out.
then I
Your wife.
Oh
dropped
yeah,
off Amwanza. Sorry.
yeah.
Amwanza,
My
sorry for
my phone just kind of died, but yeah. So I was saying the comment about the minerals. If you have title deeds, it's actually in your title deeds that says anything under the ground, it doesn't belong to you. There's a next disclaimer there. But again, so I think, Dan, your point comes in that we have now mapped all these minerals and things like that. Some of these properties could be sitting on top of what you call. There could be gold and all kinds of minerals underground. We need to come up with proper laws to protect the property owner. How they're going to be compensated than just sitting and react afterwards, because there is that disclaimer, yes, but I think we're going to see a lot of situations where people are now being evicted because where your farm is or your house is, there's something, right? And it's an old law. Think something. I actually have property, my title deeds here, something like from 1917, and think they revised it in 1973. So it needs to be looked at seriously. As to why Zambians, we can't give mines to Zambians, I don't understand. When I retired, I tried this gold mining in Mumbwa. It's a long story. I was scammed, so it needs to be sorted out. Yeah. It's and it's a mine that I think the PF cadres took over. It was run by some Indians. Then the cadres overran it, and then when the new dawn came, there was a little bit of some order. I think they have given it back to the Indians. That I don't know whether there is theirs or they also. There's a lot of also lawlessness around mining. If you go to Rufunsa, you go to Mumbwa, like I said, I tried that one too. It's a sad story. So that needs cleaning up as well. Um, I missed part of the conversation about, I think it was had to do with allowances and travel with their ministers. I think
And
this is
I was
also,
fantasy. I was talking. You were talking
yeah,
about.
this is where the other problem is. I won't mention names, but there are people that visit even here in Manitoba, because Manitoba has a lot of these people in high position. They send their kids here because Manitoba is cheaper compared to Ontario, right? So there are a lot of them that come here. You make an arrangement to say maybe you take them to UTH equivalent of the city, to university, to smart parks, U of M, the University of Manitoba, how they have created companies, set up companies to do their own experiments on campus grounds so that they don't pay higher taxes elsewhere. You plan all that. They are into shopping. You won't even see them. So even when they travel, they're not even travel to learn, to experience, to expose themselves. They are traveling for shopping. A grown-up man shopping like honestly, I
Fantasy, you're laughing so hard, but that's what you used to. You're for more than them women.
Awe, but and the church step without kuti muli that big. Don't
Katwaliko,
make those accusations.
katwaliko,
Ushoko tuani.
Eh?
katwaliko.
That's why why are you mweba shadi ko vishi mule pangiro obufi
No,
mukuta
no,
mwana.
mukai no manishi muleseka sana.
Actually,
Eh,
ndeseka abantu fanele and therefore ndeseka. You see, people have not been exposed.
yeah,
Problem ya ku Zambia, exposure to muntu ngai mafi aya ku workshop every naliba exposed with how international things systems run. Ndabeba ati exposure kano waikalako. You work, you pay taxes, you see how these systems run.
yeah,
Then you are going to appreciate that when you are in your country, you have to do the best for your country.
yes,
You see, it's not about this, and this is where the problem comes. Mukasanga abantu baletu, hey, PF, what? Yes, I was appointed by the president of PF, but I was a civil servant. All my life, I was just PS for 2 years. The rest of those years, 26 years, I was just a civil servant like Wamasha. But you find that these 2 years, everything that I worked and whatever I did is around the 2 years. That is one of the things that you see. But I don't have a problem because people don't just know. But when I went back to Zambia after I'd lived 7 years, and that Dan you see there, Dan Kiswaniso is one of the people that helped me settle in Canada. That man, any Zambian who has come to Canada, in Ontario, and I'm telling you for a fact, and you don't know Danny, then you are somehow isolated because he was a unifier. He was one of the people who know where are you at, what are you going through, what can he do to assist you. I was greatly assisted. I was at his house every weekend. And you find that people like him, he will just say things the way he sees it. Now, when you get back to Zambia, And you see what he's talking about, say, okay, this is the way how things should run. Transparency, accountability. I learned a lot in Canada when I lived for 7 years. Such that when I went to the Ministry of Labor, that is the model I applied. And I applied it from the word go. 1, 2 years, zero audit queries by Mwanza. Zero, nothing. 2 years received recommendation letters from Secretary to Cabinet about my zero audit queries because I respected systems, I respected the directors, I respected systems that are running, I respected each and every person within my team. Now, mlesa ngatinga bakutafia appoint PS this time. Umuntu aba untouchable all of a sudden, you become a superhuman being. And all of a sudden, because wapanga money, waya nama trips in there and there. Wapanga in the then you come back and now even confuse people more. So for me, the reason why I brought in the issue to do with the salaries and all this, I said, if we don't own the mine so that we can get the right dividends, whatever we are going to get in the taxes is going to go into the recurrent expenditure, and therefore we remain static because the recurrent expenditure is where all this huge government bill sits. If it was the dividends, it will sit in the government treasury. And then you can see how you run the interest rates, treasury bonds, and things like that. Because the Minister of Finance now takes care of that kind of money. This time, every money that we get, we chew through the taxes, through making sure that all these services are provided. So that is my point. Let's get these mines and run them as a country. It will be a good thing. We will learn a few things on the way.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I think this issue is huge when it comes to mining, because if you look at all the new minerals being discovered like gold, sugilite, but the Minister of Mines, Bakabuswe, actually said like, look, Kasenseli is actually owned 100% by the Zambian government. In fact, it's on 98%, and the 2% goes to the local, the chiefs. So it's a owned, company now as we speak by the Zambian people, and all its dividends go straight to Bank of Zambia. And I think all the mineral
Hello.
resources. Hello.
No. So it's okay. It's okay.
We can
Oh,
hear you. Abba.
Mahamami. Yeah,
All
Mahamami.
right.
You chime in. Let me just finish my
Okay.
point. Yeah. So what I'm saying is this. I think we're going there. We're not there yet, but we're going there. That's the direction, and that's why even the laws, the mining rights, and mining, uh, 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 there's been a change in how things are going to be done from now going forward, and how minerals are going to be, if you mine something, in extraction, are you just going to if you tracks and tracks of all the minerals, you know, let's not let's not do that, because at one point Amatrax Yaref Mafia with unclassified minerals. They will just say, "Oh, this is copper." Frima track, but
Yachiri yarafuma bachandana nombalini.
But can I interject?
okay.
I think the minister also needs to clarify what if if Kasensela is owned by Zambians, what have they done to support these Zambians? Because these are just ordinary villagers, Zambians. Sometimes a lot of these foreigners too, Zimbabweans, Congolese, they've been to this thing for a long time. Why I'm raising it, because what I saw in Mumbwa,
Mhm.
the buyers of who is buying that gold,
Mm.
is again foreigners buying, scamming these locals at very low market prices for these minerals. There are also things like for gold mining, you need the drilling machines, you need mercury. I'm not a mining engineer, but that's what I saw. And the government, and even in Mumbai, they said you can form cooperatives. The government was nowhere to be seen, even in terms of setting up those processes to help the locals. Then on the minerals, last comment on the minerals, this suggestion has been made over and more over that we need a bonded like a bonded town or warehouse where every mineral or truck, before it goes to Namibia or whatever, this check to verify what we are exporting and what is not happening. A truck can come out from Rufunsa and it's gone. You know.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. That is very very true.
Vamwanza
Rahim,
munataya mwana tmows with water. Those systems, I was privileged when I was
I think Rahim Mwami wanted to say something.
Oh, okay. All right.
Rahim Mwami wanted to say
Oh,
something.
you see, we are learned. All of us are learned. And we hear that this truck has left Zambia with the copper concentrate. Imwe,
With
copper
Shujira,
concentrate. Copper concentrates. You know, when something is concentrated, what makes it concentrated? And we are just packing it in big bags. Now, if you're South Africa, they are going to create jobs. Here, kuleshale filongoma. Akishandana mfisho filongoma ndelanda. Just remain with hose. But wherever it's going that side, it's creating more employment. You've sold it, you've just, maybe out of every, I don't know, out of every dollar, how much comes back to Zambia? I'm bad at numbers. Maybe help me there. Out of every dollar we make from these minerals, how much remains in Zambia?
It's hard to
$10.
calculate. It's very hard. It's
Vamata,
actually very hard
Hey,
to
it is
calculate.
so katwishine for Wingaland. Because the only money at times which remains, yeah, my salaries, my salaries.
out
At
of every
times,
dollar, can we say about 30 cents
maybe
remains in Zambia? 70
that is way
goes.
too much. You yakula no 30 cents yakula finishing got sana. Maybe 10 cents or 5.
Yeah. So I think the new for Nigeria that the new mining policy over in fact they've already created it. It's been passed in parliament. But they learned that instead of ukula send fuma dumping nani can fuma mwasenda fuma concentrate. Let it be processed first. Let my
Yes,
minerals be processed. Nga
value
mwasta process.
addition.
Yes. So that's why all these investors are coming in. The government is working with all these investors to build processing centers. So, for example, what gold or copper, instead of taking copper ore, you take copper cathodes, So, because copper na yari wako complicated, you find that ngamwa center or it's a combination of two other minerals. Okay, but it's classified as copper when it's going out as an ore. So Zambia is losing. It's been losing for years and years and years and years. And
You see,
But this is
when you
why that I applied
when you
the.
talk about
Sorry.
loss, can I
Okay,
when
go
you
ahead.
talk about losses,
Go ahead.
molasses, a waste product of sugar that is gotten from Nakambala and a
Mhm.
Sebo Sugar Company in Nampundwe.
Mm,
That molasses is bought, taken to Namibia, where they
mm,
still make sugar out of it again.
mm,
That is just at the level of molasses. Wayapanga munaimbi sugar kuli.
mm,
So which means there's something wrong with our system of production, system of extracting the sugar. Kule shala
mm,
sugar na imbi, but you go and sell, you sell the waste product, but somewhere else
mm,
they make sugar out of it. Now,
mhm,
think of the Black Mountain.
mm,
Think of the Black Mountain. How much
mm,
copper is there? Think of the bad methods of processing copper. How, if they get the concentrate as it is, they just mine it from the ground Gaia, no kuyika femu track. Surely, Zambia is not supposed to be where we are now. We are, we, in fact, we should not even say we are poor. We are cursing ourselves if we say we are poor. Maybe God is punishing us somehow. Say, you are too rich a nation. How should you be undergoing such a...
mm,
You can't, it can't just be. The minerals we have, look at that famous province called how it's one of, I mean, it's the richest. Everything because gold is mined there, and the
Tahamwami's internet is acting up.
it's,
Do you know?
yeah,
Do you colleagues know that if you go on the map for cadastre, the Zambia mining cadastre map portal, you can actually see what is going on in your area and who is actually doing the exploration in your area. Right now, where I sit here, I can check that my land, which is on title right now, KCM is doing exploration there.
Mm-hmm.
See, so it gives you the tenement to say, okay, this is what they are doing and what they are looking for.
Mm.
So for me, this is where government needs to enhance that. If they find the minerals in my area, because they will not access what is underground without going through my area. You understand? So
surface
which
right.
yes, surface rights. So the surface rights is going to give them to the underground rights. So we must be able to strengthen a little bit of putting that if there are minerals there, the owner of
Mhm.
that tenement must be given a percentage in
Sure.
shares.
Yeah.
You know, just
Ka
there
something.
in shares because
Mrefu
we
ya
have
ka
looked at
something.
yes,
Ka
cause
something.
something. Hmm?
So is that not happening?
No.
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 Oh, okay. Well, I think those are the laws that need
So,
to be
so
changed.
for me, it's just the issue of shareholding money, and I will not rest on this one. Like I said, the issue of also the salaries that we pay the miners is not. I will not also rest on this one because I'm a road due to Achilamo Mwebantu. Sure, all the value chains, everything, mine na ream of paper is reduced to $1
Mm.
rate. Why should our people be given quite a rate? Anyway, I fought it. I brought in the equal pay for equal work of equal value. It is in section 4 of the Employment Code Act. Then we need just to start enforcing it. Enforcing it has been one of the biggest challenges for the Ministry of Labor. I wished yesterday when they had a conversation with the president, they actually brought to his attention. I like the Minister of Labor. I think she has been one of those voices that are very, very reasonable. And I think she would do better than Vanamutarina Lumango anyway, if the West came to West, you know, because at least she can able to listen to when people are talking. Vana Lumango is a disaster. This is mine. I'm talking about bringing it to the attention that the president that they need to um, employ a little bit more of the inspectors in different areas so that the enforcement yabako. But I think we need to own the mines for us to stop this kind of road. We need to. We need to.
We,
I think we all agree on that one.
Okay.
There's nobody
Another question.
who
I
disagree.
want to ask a question. I want to ask a question. Who owns the oil rigs in America?
It's not Americans.
It depends
Is
where
it
you
the
are.
is it the government?
Texas?
Eh. Is it the government that owns those oil wells?
America, everything is in private hands.
Yeah.
Everything.
Government just gets taxes. Yes.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
it. There's
Apple.
nothing owned by the government in America.
Can't. You can't own anything in America. Government has no business doing business. It has
Yeah,
everything to do with social service, making sure
they
that the
just
people.
provide an
But
environment.
Uh-huh.
but
And
but
Oh,
you,
but
Never
and,
can I
enforce
and
it.
that's what
interject?
and
Can I
that's what they're
interject?
exactly saying here. That
Can I
government should not own anything.
can
Should
I
not own
interject?
anything. They should do just offer services. Where are they going to get the money from? And the same companies, big companies from those American countries of yours, they will come and invest in Zambia and get the monies, leave nothing for the government to
Yeah.
provide the
that's
social
why
services.
Turela and Dilapati shareholding. When
Yeah.
you change the shareholding aids that determine how much money you're going to make as a country. And
As
also
a,
the decisions that you're going to make in that company. But much if
that,
you and me own a company, I own 90% and you own 10%, I'll make the decisions myself. I can make decision without you. You
are you
understand?
reminding me of? Are you reminding me of something that is very painful?
Yes, I
I, I
am actually.
I'm a shareholder at Nakambala, where
Oh,
there's Tat and Lao. Tat
yeah,
and Lao.
yeah.
When Tat and Lao raises a hand to vote, The vote for Tat and Lao is about 9 million.
Mm.
9 million votes. Me, when I raise my hand to vote, what am I? Nothing.
0.1.
Yakula no kula 0.1.
So
0.
that is what
Insignificant.
that is why we are telling you to say, let's change the shareholding value. Because when we change the shareholding, ngachaka what is the minority, we can make cause, we can make, we can cut, we can make cause. Look at what is happening in Mopan right now. These guys more with government. Oh, we will do this for the Zambian people. We do this. When they start contracting on major scales, why send them South Africans? They go and get the same Indians to come back and say, okay, guys, come and get the Indian companies. Not really the Indians people. The Indian companies, not Indian companies. The Dubai setup. You
Right.
see them. They
From
come and
Brazil.
yes, and then because one of the this is also, it comes also to immigration status, because imagine that they are 51% shareholders and they want to bring certain management system within Mopani. You are obliged to give them permits. Yamama permits because of that agreement that is there. Oh, this one is coming in management to come and protect the interests of the shareholders. So there's nothing you're going to say as Zambia. Mpeleni. Abuse, and then if you don't find again a system that is very strong to even hold that person accountable, they become big-headed and they can do anything. I
Kali
arrested
mishani na bachanda imwe tarari na kam Chinese kali mishani na kukabwe
and
kali ya
deported
imwe.
the next day. That is
Kali
where I work.
mishani na.
Kali
Kali mishani
Shaina,
na.
I don't
Mwalisi wane
disagree.
pya kuchita. Tuwewe niko.
Vamata.
Eh.
Kali Shaina, the next day was out of the country. Inensha kwete problem yakavati wala Shaina. Yes, I did not agree to anyone abusing a Zambian, and I'm on record on many forums, including
Oh, next
arresting
day.
a general manager. Who am I
Next day
in
kali
Pamwich?
saya. Kali saya next day.
Kaili mwalikele okutamba, mwalikele nokumfwa. Mwalikele pamatiri pamacha.
Taita mwa,
Nomba,
just give
okay.
us a feedback. Twamwene fika mishani na wachanda bashimana wa DC.
Mwalikele pamatiri pamacha. That is where the problem is. You sat on the ears, so you couldn't listen. So,
Can I
Nomba,
can I
Pama shares.
interject?
I think we need to know Pama shares. Quali Pama shares are kwewati, some are private, some are public. And
Vamwanza wants to come in.
Yeah. So there was a question: who owns the minerals or the rights in the U.S. and these other countries, or even Canada? The difference, though, here you can be a private sector. That's fine, but the taxation system. I don't know about the U.S., but like here in Canada, is bang on, right? So
Yeah.
you can be private, but you even as an individual, you know how the Canada revenue system is. Yeah, you can't.
It's brutal. You
So
can't run
yes,
away.
it's brutal. Yeah. So in Zambia, there are loopholes, whether it's royalties, right? They are very low. They're even lower than DRC. This issue of concentrates, even it's at our Taireku school, he knew that instead of these guys want to send minerals as the concentrate, let's apply a 10% export tax. And we reversed that. So we are going backwards. So the reason to do that was it's okay if you're stealing a little bit of copper here, but we're buying you on the export tax. We suspended that. So we need to work on our shareholding. The breakdown, whether it's 45, 55, or whatever. But also, these guys are having a lot of loopholes. Our taxation system is weak and that kind of thing. So it doesn't matter who owns it, whether it's private or not. But if the taxation system is weak, they're just mining for free. We are losing a lot in every value chain of our mining sector. I submit.
oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I think we all agree on that one. Let's move ahead. On owning, I think we all want us to own our own minerals. We want our own, Zambian engineers that have been training through the University of Zambia for years to put their skills into task. Because, I mean, why are we training all these individuals if we cannot they cannot put what they've learned into practice by being able to create a mine from ground up, for the Zambian community or for the Zambian, I think there should be a test, like for example, kumufumbwe kulya. I think the government needs to work on a system where whatever company is going to take on that project, which I think should be a Zambian company, they need to start working hand in hand with the Ministry of Mines and the mines at the University of Zambia. There's a department there that trains individuals in mining. Let them get that first-hand information by whatever they are learning in terms of theory, be able to practice it in terms of a practical situation. Put the students there. Let them learn. Once they learn it, then us as Zambians now we're learning how to do things. Because that's how all these developed countries, especially in the Asian world, have done it. All they do is they just send their brightest minds across the world to train, and when they come back, they bring that information and they employ it in the system. So us as Zambians, we also need to do that. Bring all those young boys and girls who are brilliant, okay, and give them the opportunity, to be part of these, a green field mine, as they call them. Let them be part of it, and so that I got the first-hand information, first-hand experience, and first-hand, that's how it is. I mean, if it's an experiment or whatever, but it's our own people. We don't need any foreigner to come and tell us from Sudan, from the Congo, and start telling us, oh, Papa, watch that so. When all these things, anybody can knows how to do all those things. Like, it's not rocket science. God mining is not rocket science. Gold mining is one of the simplest and less capital investment projects that can be done. Because you don't need all those heavy equipments like in the in the copper world. But that's what it is. It's gold. Like, if you even watch all the movies in gold, like in Western, in America, like, you see just as people, they're just panning gold and stuff. It's not that hard, but we just need to make it more professional and more conducive. Moving ahead. Sorry for saying all those things. But another deal has been signed in terms of development. I think we need to tap on development, what's been happening and stuff like that, before we close. The ZESCO has signed another deal. You remember, Vakazi, I think I was telling you about the solar plant in Chisamba, the 100 megawatts. They have signed another deal for another 100 megawatts. So it's going to be 200 megawatts in Chisamba. So meaning Chisamba Kabwe area, I think it will be the most. I think people need to move there because abantu tawaka, there will be no load shedding there. And the president has said it like, look, we need to put part of that 100 megawatts. Part of it needs to go to the communities, to the schools, and to the industries. And there's a lot of industries moving up and mushrooming in that circuit. I don't know what you think, Mr. Gazia.
I think any addition to the national grid, I've told you, I think I've spoken about this before, is a good thing. The problem is that exporting is where I have a problem, where we still have load shedding. The load shedding, the Minister of Information, the Chief Government Spokesperson, spoke that this year by this time the load shedding should have been ending. But and we are now going into the west dry season. October is coming. Even when we had the west, he even said no, the water is still in the Bulozi floodplain. 3 months we will see it in Kariba. But they keep on exporting this. This is killing the small scale, businesses. Killing completely. So even if we can create the next 500 megawatts, but we still have load shedding, people will not respect that kind of investment. Because to what does it translate to an order Zambian? When you say we have opened 100 megawatts, and then I still have 8 hours of load shedding. Or water was still still, and then to make matters, we are still export. The export thing for me, I've spoken about this, colleagues, on this forum. It does not make sense. We are making those 100 megawatts for who? For Zambians first. For Zambians. Now you ignore the Zambians and then you come back and say, no, 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 we are doing very well. Yes, you are doing very well. But to who? Who is your primary target? Please, Wachanda. And the UPND government, Pele ni abantu amalaiti. Stop exporting the power. You can only give what you have. You can't give what you don't have. Please. It's a good thing to invest in power. It is a good process. Right now, I think it's a good trajectory that the government has embarked on. We must commend that. But then, ngatamulepela abantu, how do we commend you now? We sarandati yawe if mule chisabani, you aren't doing yourselves. Give people electricity. Please stop exporting. That is my submission.
Mr. Danny.
Okay. I want to agree with my friend Chandagazia there, but what he knows, I think, and I know, is that some of these agreements with Chandagazia, they were prepaid agreements. Okay, they paid us in advance. We chewed it because we needed money at that time.
Yep.
That is the core. That's what the minister said. Them, we fixed the price at that time and they paid us for the next whatever the long term. So that is one, not all the agreements, but majority of these agreements in the prepaid. It was prepaid agreements. They paid in advance to Ashidia. So that's the main problem. I was also having the same question you have been asking. Why should our people be suffering?
Yeah.
Why
In fact,
should our people be
but
suffering?
then you bring a very good idea here.
Okay.
And now the question is, why can't we know the quantum of what we still owe? So that Mamona, we were paid $150 million for the next 10 years that we supply for 10 years. And so far, we have supplied 7 million worth of power. We are remaining with 3 million. Because Mpanga information which is clear so that people know that this is what you inherited. This is the burden that you have sorted out. This is the balance.
Yeah.
How can we now crucify government when they've given us that information? We are not going to crucify them. Because we're going to know that more. So tuvapele. Elo nokuvapela, tolavapela, if today chitafika apa, pali such a date. Nama badani mwasangati, iyo information, tabale tupela abantu. Tabale landa, indelamaba. In fact, ngabapanga an initiative like that. Maybe it even goes to offset what we have already chewed.
Here,
Now,
I'm reading on ZESCO ZESCO website. Okay, ZESCO, Zambia Electricity Supply Corporation, has legally binding prepaid power export contracts with Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and South Africa.
Okay.
Legally binding prepaid export contracts.
Yes.
These contracts were signed in times of surplus and are multi-year agreements.
Okay.
Breaching them could lead to costly penalties and lawsuits.
Okay.
B, damage to Zambia's regional credibility and future investment prospects in the power sector.
That I don't.
On ZESCO website.
Good. How does that answer my question now?
That's answered it.
People, Zambians, we should learn to read.
I'm saying, and this is why I said, how much and what duration
Okay.
will it take us? Because by then that information is very critical. To more. So
Yes.
whatever we're going to make is going to what we've already chewed. That is the
Yes.
implication, isn't it? But
Yeah.
now, then, when that me, who is a citizen, I ask a further the second question to the person who has given me that information.
Umfweni.
Okay.
Third,
Mhm.
if Zambia abrogates these agreements,
Le- Mhm.
this is very critical. Reciprocal, if Zambia abrogates these reciprocal agreements, it means that Zambia can never import power during future crises in return.
Mhm.
In fact, if you heard what I said, I'm not saying let's not pay. What I'm saying, if that is the process, the question that I'm asking, which is not being answered, is this:
Okay.
how
Makasi.
How
Okay. Go ahead.
can I finish, please?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
How much have we contracted, and how much has been paid, and what is the expected time that we're going to pay for, so that twice that we are not going to default for the next 3 years, because the power deficit that our friends have, unless we've got a surplus, that is when we can reduce on this. But if it chita fika po in the next 1 year, fika po in the next 2 years, that is what I'm trying to say.
Vachanda,
Mukwai.
Kalova, ati Chirimba. Tuli muli Chirimba.
Muli Kalova.
I think it's
Chirimba. It's your
Mhm.
turn, it's your turn, it's your turn. So, if you abrogate these rules of Chirimba, yafike ishita ya kulipira, na wata wakakupere.
Shilelanda tuchite abrogate but done.
Okay, Makazia. Okay, I think I hear what Makazia is asking. He's asking about
Maybe rephrase it, Vachanda, so that we're done in
he's
the moment.
saying, I think Makazia is asking about the value in terms of dollars or kwacha.
Mhm.
That he wants to know exactly. So, but
And what else?
that information, I think he was presented. I think he
Yes.
the minister himself presented it, and he
When
said,
is it now? Vadan, Chandana Vadan. When is this expected? Not that it will end on this date, because we don't know. So the question is, to quote, is it $3 million worth of power that we've already eaten? Now, is $3 million worth of power, is it going to take us 1 year to pay back, or 2-3 years? So that when we put that as a standard measure, people in Zambia and us as citizens, we must know that our hands and the hands of government are tied, because they cannot breach that contract with the biting repercussions that may come.
Yes.
Now, if that
Yeah,
information is not given,
no, but Chand, I don't think some certain information the public like me and you do not need to know.
no, we need to know, Vadani. That is not a private company. It's a public institutions. We have a right. We are the ones that pays for it. You cannot come and tell me that what I pay for I shouldn't know. That is not right.
No, but anyway, in any case, it's been already been told how much we owed, or how much the previous government owed, and how much we have been paying to settle that debt.
And the
Okay.
repercussion, the biggest repercussion, Vachandagazia, is this: whether we say we owe 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, we have to finish this, because they will chuck us out of the network. Next time Zambia wants to import, we cannot import from our neighbors.
In fact,
Just like what happened. Remember what happened when we wanted to import power from Mozambique? They
Yeah.
came to tell us, from the last time you imported power.
Yeah.
but when
You still owe us. There was a figure there.
I don't know where you are misinterpreting what I'm asking.
But Chanda, you want to be an auditor of ZESCO today?
No, I'm not trying to be.
You are going into minute details.
Look at this. But then
information.
information is power. That is what stops the suspicion, number one, the misinterpretation of information, number two. It is when you give people factual information, iyi information twamupela. Iyi load shedding problem tayapwe this year. Ikapwa in 2027. Because of this chapwa mwapwisha. But don't come and tell us to say ikapwa mu December. Hello December ya isa. Okay, kali walituweve that December it is. Hello asa afunye no but no leke number tumweve that tuwalisa ine kale. That kind of information inconsistent.
The
It's
government
creating
is
a problem.
building new sources of energy. They
But
are
what
doing
is
it.
why don't you say to the people that than what Cornelius Mwetwa said?
What did Cornelius Mena say?
Badani. Vipusheni badani balamwe.
What? I don't know what he said.
He talked about the load shedding ending. Ending, not that we will reduce ikapwa. Ukupwisha load shedding to what it was. Ikapwanga chaba yeah so. Balalumbula, you see, abantu they don't discuss the way you guys are discussing right now. They don't. But Zambia, the ones that are running government, they don't come up with a rationalized kind of information the way you guys are presenting it. That's not what they do. They go to the people and tell them to say, tukapwisha mailo. Even when they know they are kapwe mailo, you and me know that this is what is the challenge is. But is this what they are communicating? So that is what the problem is. Be factual, or when you communicate clearly. The website is talking about this. These are the repercussions. Do you want information about how much? Okay, we will look at this and then we can give approximations.
Okay.
Approximations.
Okay. Can we bring him? Wahamwami has been quiet. Let's hear his thoughts.
I was a bit lost up. Just to give me a small heads up. Just give me a heads up. I'll get to say something. On power. Okay, on power. So the thing about power is as tricky as the climate and the amount of water that we have flowing. No.
Where was Masha?
Listen. Mr. Cornelius Mwetwa cannot tell the amount of water that is in Kariba Dam at a particular time of the year.
But
He doesn't even know. No, listen. He doesn't even know the amount of time required for that water to flow from the flooded Zambezi. He did. Now I'm telling you what he should not have done.
Can I read one more statement? I think to add to our what? He said some of this exported power is generated from dedicated lines and infrastructure meant only for export to these clients. That's it. Namibia can't come in our grid. Said some of this exported power is generated from dedicated lines and infrastructure meant only for export to these clients.
Guys, that's what I'm explaining, Kaidi. I'm explaining.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is your minister saying this.
No.
It's government.
Listen, let me tell you this. Some of these people we call as vision carriers, sometimes they don't carry the vision. They lose the vision as they carry it, So,
No, let him explain.
Yes. The amount of time that the water should travel from the flooded plains in Mongu up to the point of production of power in Kafue or Zambezi, whatever Kariba, is not as fast as it can be like 2 weeks. It takes a long time. So for someone to even predict, by December, by what, he should have at least have an idea of how much time it takes for that water to flow.
Stop insulting government.
I'm not insulting, I'm just saying the truth. You want me to be economical with the truth when you know that it has so much value. No, listen. Truth has so much value. Why should I be very economical with it?
PF, isn't it?
No, I'm not. Why should I become PF? I'm non-aligned.
Because
I'm non-aligned.
You are insulting the minister.
No, I'm not. I'm just giving him what should be sensible. not insulting. I'm not
No,
even
but
insulting.
what you are saying, he didn't say that.
Is it wrong for me to say it?
Are you correcting him?
I can. I'm a citizen.
Oh, okay.
I can
So
correct him.
the minister was wrong, isn't it?
Is he infallible?
Okay.
He's not
And then
infallible.
now,
Okay, no. Well, I think we're going into a different direction. Let's not talk about the minister. Let's not talk about.
he
I think the
misled
point.
us. We must talk
I
about
think
him.
So
Zambians should be
power.
encouraged to go to ZESCO website and read this. Me, I've learned a lot. Just 2 minutes here. Export clients, these export clients have dedicated high capacity transmission lines, while ZESCO internal grid cannot be able to redistribute this power efficiently within Zambia if not exported. One for your line here. This power going to Namibia, we can't bring it back in our grid.
No, we never done it. But look at the mess that your people. Mama, you have given a
Which
very
people?
good structured thing. But when they come to talk to now the citizens, now someone
I'm
with a
reading.
responsibility.
I'm
Yes, I'm
reading.
saying now someone with a responsibility does not communicate in the way you are reading. He goes and says, "Road shedding to Kapuisha Mailo." How do
That's
you
why.
reconcile the two?
That's why I want to correct him. Nomba namulenkanya ati I cannot correct a minister.
Muletuko buteko imwe.
When I correct nishindetuko omuntu.
By the
You
way,
can
these lines which we are using to export, they were built by the countries we are telling they don't export. We didn't do them ourselves. There's a lot of information here, Washmu.
So here's one information here. So I think what we're talking about the Zambezi Power Agreement. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at 2,400 megawatts. That's how much that power plant is. And it's supposed to be split between two countries, Zambia and Zimbabwe. Half in half. Okay? And once it's split, how you're going to utilize that, it's up to you as a country. We can either keep it or export it to our neighboring other countries surrounding us. Okay? But there's an agreement with all these countries in the region to say, look, natukwatako amalaiti this year because amenshi yalifula sana. But it will at least 10 megawatts or 200 megawatts or stuff like that. And people say, oh, yeah, no, it's a business arrangement. Just like in any business in the world, you're trading. And they say, oh, yeah, fine, no problem. Next time, if we got deprived of quarter drought, we go to, like in the last 2 years, we had drought. Where do you think the Zambia went? They went to those same countries. So that's why the people were saying that you're exporting, like why are we exporting? And then you go and buy back that power. But that's how the agreement is. Every agreement to acquire is because the agreement itself is like, when your friend is down, you bring him up. That's the agreement.
No, Mabachanda.
Okay, so we cannot argue about, oh, why are we exporting when we should keep it in Zambia? No, it's an
Bachanda.
agreement with all these countries. Zambia cannot seclude itself to say, however,
Bachanda.
unless we say that.
Bachanda. I have a question for
Agreement.
you. The question, and this is what I'm challenging UPND. I'm challenging you with one question. Why is it that the ministers now, the government, when they want to communicate and tell the people, they're not saying what you're saying. They go and tell people to say, Tukapuisha Mairo.
Because they are
Why?
politicians.
Yes,
Fear
so
has bewitched us.
then when they get a backlash, what do you expect? Because once you say that, yes, you are politicians, but you're gonna get a backlash where you shouldn't get one. The backlash is that yes, you are saying Mairo. So if you want to land and beans, if you're there, if you want to land, in fact, maybe if you know we keep a website today, Because people are going to trust what is coming out of your mouth rather than what they're going to see on ZESCO. Because they know ZESCO is smaller than the minister and the entire government cabinet. Because when the minister of information stands to talk, he is talking government. He's not talking ZESCO. ZESCO is it is assumed that that information has been filtered from ZESCO to the minister for him to say that. Because government systems all
I
work in that way. Mama never
I
done.
I knew Victor Mapani myself personally, and
Yes.
I know he was relaying this type of information to the
Yes,
government.
but the question comes is that ngaulesa mukulani. You know, even when you want to be sure and play politics, you can play it in a smarter way because there will be backlash. But that's because they can print whatever they want to print. Babika and fintura statistics. Babika. When the Minister of Information does not speak to what is on that website, to the to the professionals, they will hold what the minister says to higher esteem than what is on that website. That is unfortunately how the systems
Ra-
work.
Rachandagazia, can I ask you one
Mukwai,
question? Can I
please.
ask one question?
Mhm.
Zambians generally, if Mwetwa goes there and starts saying these lines going to Namibia and Botswana are dedicated high capacity transmission lines, while ZESCO internal grid is not high capacity, which will not be able to redistribute the power going to Namibia into our national grid. Can people understand that statement?
No, because he has said it the way you've said it. But if he said it, maybe the way I can propose, he says it.
Like what?
Uh-huh.
How can you explain that hii power ile ya Namibia?
Number one, kupika mwalishi yonse tetuso wambi vati ipawa ila Namibia. You give the filamu achambo kulondolola about how we got to the systems of what agreements. Probably even put the years when these agreements were signed and what quantums. You put some figures there. Then you move now to the effect. And as a result of that effect, if abantu will be upset with you maybe at that point in time, but because you've told them the truth, they will tend to come and defend you when now the systems get there. Say, the minister is consistent. Even when we were upset last year for telling us this, but look at what he said and the consistency of what is happening now. It is much more reasonable. Because Dani, the challenge is this. Lijanomba waisala that load shedding ile proper shine. Olo wabwela nombo lefa wisolande tishinga. Who is going to believe your truth now? That is where the problem is. So give it the way you had even said it. You said when you read, this is what is going on. Now this is the effect. This is what can be the result if we did ABCD. So that is why we are doing this. But you can't just tell people, next week tuka imwe, don't worry, in the next 5 months, power is restored, everything will be okay. And you see, in this advent of social media, which doesn't forget what we say, even what we're going to say here today, people just come and play and say, so you reduce the credibility of government, and people start calling you government as liars, and then you get upset. Why should you choose to do things that way? Because Dani, these things that affect
All right.
people have direct effect on how people are going to perceive you because it affects
All right.
life.
All right. I
That is
think
the way.
we've tackled all these
First of all,
issues.
I really thank you, Dani, for the highlights you brought in, and I wish people could listen and maybe
Eh,
take a leaf
ine
from what you guys have said.
ndefo
Yeah.
akufika website but then he went on a website that was showing you about Zambezi power.
Mama na Dani nombala bamacha bayamba okuberenga. That is how powerful you are here.
Yeah,
Kawawa wino.
Zambezi Power Agreement. It's something that it's an agreement. Zambezi Power Agreement.
Badani bali bisa.
Okay, no, I want to
Bamacha
be.
bayamba okujoba zoona Badani tamwaba bwino.
It's
People don't even know.
Zambia and Zambezi Power
Badani
Agreement.
tamwaba bwino mwamba okujobesha bamacha ino.
And
You know.
people don't even know that this power grid which is going to Namibia is Namibia who built it.
Badani mwamba okujobesha bamacha.
Zambia. Ifwe twachikire bali kulira grid abene bayi.
Era ba minister bafuna
Okay.
okulanda.
All right. Okay. Let's move ahead, and I think we need.
Mwanza nabese.
Mwanza, I think you can tell us. You dropped out. I think you had something
Yes,
to say on.
yes, I dropped out. Actually, there's something I needed to do. My academic coordinator had called, so I
Okay.
won't stay long. I need to send something to her.
Okay. No
Yeah,
problem. We're about to close actually.
yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah. So I think the argument here is about the agreement on why we're exporting power when we don't have power. And I think I said, look, there's an agreement between Zambia and all these Zambezi countries. We got that Zambia Zambezi power agreement, especially for Zambia Zimbabwe. We need to own it because it's an agreement. It's been signed, and it hasn't been signed today. It was signed years ago.
Nendalama twalidya kaka.
Okay, so I mean, there's no
Bila
way we
yeye
can
twasanu
today
ndapona him. Na
wake up just because somebody's not happy to say why are they exporting when we don't have power. But it's an agreement we've agreed. Okay,
Ngatamwalidya
I
endalama
think
baba.
the best thing that can be done is like, can we go back into parliament and say, can we adjust certain things in that agreement? Maybe that would be a good argument or a good conversation.
It's
But to
not
say,
parliament. You get a delegation from the countries where you are exporting Seimwe. But as it says here, Pazesco, that power cannot be reversed.
yeah,
It can't. Our
No, but
national grid doesn't have that capability to reverse high, what does it call it? High, whatever
no,
efficiency.
no, 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 but munalanda bwino sana. Necho ntemino kati whatever you people are saying, ivatanda nabadani. Whatever you're saying is a lot of. Why are your ministers not saying that? And
no,
then
no,
if
Too
they've been saying it.
technical.
eh,
It's too technical.
it's too technical for them, so they are dumb, isn't it?
No, 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 no.
No.
That's not what
Yes.
that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. It has been said. It has been said. It's been explained.
Yeah.
But maybe it
The-
doesn't be fully explained. But
but
that's a job of wanani kani- ni wanani?
your chief government spokesperson.
No. Because
Yes.
this
It's
is
a
more
job ya
specific.
Kalava. When a
No,
Kalava.
no. Iyi
To
job
find out
iyi
the truth. Job to
moneni
criticize.
badani iyi
They should
job
read when a Kalava.
they have nothing to be. In fact, when your people, when your minister doesn't read, or they can even know a fact, it's not their business to bring that. How can they oppose you if they're going to be the ones to correct the things that are there?
All
Them
right.
jump on
So
your mistakes. So
all
you
right.
colleagues correct it. The thing is that there's nothing wrong in the minister of information, in government, chief
Okay.
government spokesperson, to go and explain things the way
Right
you
here.
two have explained them. Not kuva mukuvepo obufika kati tukapwisha mailo.
Okay. Vakazia, I think that's what said and we're done. So let's close up. I think now Zambia is heading to a power independence. Like, I think if we look at what's been happening with all these solar plants happening and stuff like that, and the government, European government is saying we want to achieve about 1,000 megawatts at the end of 2026. Okay, which is very achievable because already there's 200 here, 100 there, 40 there, 30 there, all these other smaller projects that are happening across the country. And we don't want to rely. That's why these issues are coming up, because we don't want to rely on hydro anymore. So nama agreements and all that stuff. All we want is, look, Zambia needs to be independent out of hydro. Hydro should now just be a supplement. To be honest, it should just be a supplement. But from now going forward, we need to look at other sources in terms of solar, wind, and maybe even, which I don't really like. eh,
No. I know you want to say nuclear, don't.
Yeah, that one I don't really like it.
No.
Because it's really, really not. In Zambia, we're not there yet.
No.
And
In Africa, go
one
Africa.
politician stood up and said, "No, I had the deal signed. I had the first guy to sign the deal, and right now we could have." I'm like, Ndalawan, have you ever seen
The nuclear power
how
station.
how devastating those nuclear plants are even in the developed world. What about Zambia, which is not even developed? We haven't even mastered the technology yet. And you're the first one to say, oh,
Who was saying that?
wow. Tikalaba.
Kalaba thinks
He
he's the
went
president.
to sign with the Russians. At the back, I say, nuclear a plant kuchongwe kuli.
Yeah.
It's too near. It's too near Lusaka.
ngachabumuka muchongwe mulya nisili usaka yonse ya
Yeah.
There's no nuclear power station near, which is housed near. It has to be close to water body first. Zambia, we don't have a big water body to house a nuclear power station. We have to have a ocean next to a lot of water needed. There's no way Zambia can have a nuclear power station. Impossible. Zero.
And so in any case, he was saying those things, Shani, no, and I'm like, Dalawad, have you ever watched that movie Chernobyl? Go and watch that movie. Once you watch it, then come back and say it again, what you were saying. Because that movie will tell you how this power and how devastating they are. Because Zambia were not technologically advanced to that level of nuclear.
No.
Okay? We can be there. We can have the minerals, but we're not there.
Even the developed countries are moving away from nuclear. They are going green, wind and solar now. Yeah.
If I can join in, the question I have though is one of my nephews actually works for ZESCO, and he was at this Chisamba Solar. Now they're working on
phase 2.
they're working on the interconnector from Tanzania to here.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yeah. So I asked one gentleman from ZESCO last year. We met at this Changamriro, and somebody introduced a director there. I said, interconnector with all these Chinese we don't like them, but when something is urgent, they can do this thing in a very short period of time. Why is it taking long? He said the spare parts. So I still don't understand why the Zambia interconnector is taking long. The reason why I'm bringing it, we can't cancel the existing contract with our countries, but we can also bring in a little bit of our own power, because I think as we go towards election, we need to have probably a better load shedding will still be there, but not these long hours of load shedding. Maybe something like almost 12 hours of electricity, 8 hours or something like that. A more stable, longer duration than these 3 hours. Then come next year towards election, suddenly we have lot of power. I don't like politicians when they do that, because it's like you could have done this much earlier, So we should find a way of bringing a little bit of more while we are investing in these alternatives. The alternatives, yes, they are working flat out. The 100 there, 55 there, but they take time too. And the barber again out there who is going to vote for us, the hairdresser, the welder. We need these guys out to, they have to make money. That's how they survive. So we need to increase the power availability. Load shedding will still be there. Everybody understands. Like, it can't be. Last year there was a drought. We are saying there was a drought, but this year, it takes 3 years to fill the Kariba, but I think the power supply should be better than it was last year.
All right.
So,
I think let's put our last remarks. I think we need to close the show. I think, gentlemen, for participating today. I think we'll go with Macha. If you just put your last remarks so that we close. And then about Doctor, about Oscar, and then I'll be the last person. We just close our last remarks. Whatever you want to say.
First?
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I'm still mourning for our loss yesterday. on
Oh,
Friday.
oh,
It
don't
was,
even bring it up.
it
Oh
was
my
very
God.
painful, but I hope we learned something from there because when I watched the match, I think we lacked, what can I say, technique. I think our team is still playing, the players are still playing as individuals
Mm,
and not as a team. I think we need to gel them. They are good players, but I think we need a coach that's going to really teach them how to play as a team. But that was really painful. 5-0 was not a good loss. Um, Secondly, I'm just impressed with our our president HH, what he's doing in terms of inviting investors. I know some some opposition people don't want investors in Zambia. They think we'll develop Zambia on our own as it is. We don't want investors. But I'm impressed with what the current government is doing, having these summits or conferences of investors like the one they just ended one, the Zambia Invest in Zambia conference. I think that's very, very good. And I can see that there's another one coming at the end of the year. The president said there's going to be another one, something to do with impact something, impact investment summit or something. So I like it, and I think we are getting more and more investors coming into our country. We work with them, and they insist that the president insists that you come here, you invest, you have to partner with a Zambian. That's the key. You have to partner with a Zambian. There's no way you can just come here and be on your own. Your business, your investment has to have Zambians in it, which is very, very clear, and I like that. Um, Thirdly, I just wanted to congratulate again, based on the investment picture that I'm seeing in my country, the ZDA, is it Zambia Development Agency? I think these are the this the agent this the organization that is in sort of championing these conferences. I just say kudos to them. They're doing a great job in doing this. I think we're going to achieve a lot in the future. Um, the church, I'm disappointed with the church, the chiefs, okay, the church, the chiefs, and maybe the Lungu family itself over Lungu's death, the way we are doing it. The church is so silent. I don't know why. The chiefs, I thought the chiefs might send a delegation to go and talk to the Lungu family or something like that. They are also just silent. In times like this, I think we need the church to step up, or the traditional leaders to step up. For example, traditional leaders from Eastern Province can go and talk to their son there in South Africa, I mean their family, to say, hey, let's just end this well. But the chiefs in Eastern Province, or any other chief for that matter in Zambia, they're just quiet. We need them to stand up. I mean, to step up when you have a crisis like this. They're our guardians. The church is the church is supposed to lead the nation in times of crisis like this, but they're just quiet. I'm a little bit disappointed with those two bodies. That's about it. I just got an email here that Chingombe, the spokesman for Zamsta, will be on Bantu TV tomorrow. The spokesman for Zamsa will come and explain why we have all these pilferings of medicines. So I'm looking forward for that. Thank you very much.
yep. Go ahead, Himwami. I think it was Himwami. Or Oscar. Oscar.
Yeah,
Somebody in there.
you can just call me Oscar or whichever you want to go, troublemaker.
Oscar Kambadi. I had a very good friend of mine. His name was Oscar when he was growing up in high
Yeah.
school. Yeah,
Okay.
Oscar. He was a
Yeah.
troublemaker as well.
I think it's the name.
He was a troublemaker.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't have much to say, but I know I've missed a couple of these meetings, and I enjoyed today's deliberations. We can agree, disagree. No one seemed upset or anything. We can't all agree on every item. So that, for me, that is very, very important. Yeah, the loss. Zambia's loss yesterday. I know the doctor said 2 glasses per day. I think I exceeded the amount. So, and he's a Nigerian doctor, so you understand. uh, then where Zambia is going in terms of investment and things like that. One friend of mine, these are people who are not even UPND, but I think they are, to hear them talk positively about HH, I was surprised. I said, wow. He says he's like 20 years ahead of the country. That's his vision. I think we'll get there.
Yeah.
We still have bumps here and there. And speaking of IDC, actually, the CEO for IDC is my classmate. He was my prefect at Choma Secondary School. Kono, he's a smart boy, very, very smart. So with those kind of people, I will get somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm still, yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. So good. We need a
Fantastic.
leader like that. I like to see that in our leader championing such type of programs. I like it. When I see him stand there in front and talk, I feel very, very positive as a Zambian.
Okay.
But
Mr. Macha, go ahead.
he's not here.
Oh, Mr.
Chandagazia.
Macha is gone.
Yeah, Chandagazia.
Oh, Machanda, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Uh, mine is on the the issues to do with the death of President ECL. I think I've been on record, and I still on record. I'm with the family. I support the family's decision because if they want to bury in South Africa, it's okay. If they want to bring back to Zambia, that's fine. And also for me, it's a bigger lesson that the president, if it need be, needs to stay away from it. He shouldn't force himself on it. Precisely why one of the reason why I think that the church might be quiet and other voices of reason is the failure by government, the UPND government, to manage what is coming from its base. The base for UPND is very, very toxic in terms of how they look at the death of President ECL, how they demean the body itself, and without any remorse or without any consequences. I think when you are a church leader wants to get involved and you hear a cadre who is very close to UPND goes and calls the president the death of the body of the president a fish, cod fish, frozen fish, and there are no consequences to it, you first pull back because you're expecting that those are the heavy-handedness that we must see from government to stop that kind of narrative. And also, the disappointing factor is the way the senior government officials are talking about the death of President ECL. I think they are compounding the problem. They don't give any hope, any kind of rational hope. Just look at how we feel some of us had worked very well and respected the President ECL. And when I hear a person talk about that, it breaks my heart. It really makes me feel really bad. And you find the people that are talking, these are young boys, 20, 25. They're the ones that will talk like that without no consequences. And even you colleagues here have not heard one of you say that kind of talk should not be encouraged. It should never be encouraged. You all keep quiet about it. You are silent about it on this forum, actually. I've complained about the talk that is coming from the ministers, the vice president. You guys are quiet on it. You can't talk about it. You skit around it. You don't say around it. But these are the things that are compounding the coming together to say, let's find the common cause. It's where those of us that are complaining are seen to be like just making noise, and we don't matter what your opinions don't matter. It is what you guys in government may think. So I think that is one of the concerns that I have. And for me, if these concerns continue, I would really encourage the family to make the decision in their best interest. The best interest of saying, oh, it is the country. Yes, if a country is going to show that we are all pulling in one direction, then yeah, the the love for the country can supersede us. Then the other thing that I would want your government to work on is really the cost of living. The cost of living is biting. It's really, really bad. The cost of essentials have gone up. We keep sending money now. Like personally, even the little money that I have to share because the people that are working cannot really afford that much. The people that are in the investing world, if you have money, yes, to invest, this is the best investment climate. Yes, that investment climate has been created. That one shouldn't be, you can't run away from it. But it is now to translate this investment climate to make sure that it starts to pull the Zambians in. And that is why you see the conversation starts to pull in terms of how can Zambians really, really participate? What policy framework, what legal framework are we going to create to make Zambians participate? The legal framework we have and the policy framework is working very well for foreign direct investment. That is really, really good. The people that have money can come in Zambia and make tons and tons of money. But as those tons and tons of money can create tons and tons of jobs. But I've never seen a country that can develop just using salaries. The jobs, we can't develop from that because then the bigger chunk of the revenues go with the people that are making money. The last one is the issues of the medicines, and I think the issues of whatever pilferage it is, we must know who is stealing the medicine and the heads must roll at the highest level. And the president, if he has a chance to listen to this, if you don't take action, president will accuse you of your participation in this because you can't just let this thing go on. We can't allow foreigners to be the ones to dictate how we're going to even conduct ourselves. Why should the US government be the ones to tell us that, oh, this is people are stealing, take action and action and action? No, we think it is a moral thing that you need to do. Take action to the people that are taking this and start with the biggest fish that there is to actually catch. So I hope you address these things, but so far I don't think you've done very well as UPND government. You can do better.
Of course, you're going to say that.
That's
Anyway, anyway, yeah, that's your opinion. Um, last, I think Oscar have already spoken it. Yeah. So, lastly, um, I, all in all, the UPND government is one of the top uh, governments that's been appreciated across the world and across Africa. The government system that the UPND government is implementing is being studied, and that for a fact, most countries are now following the blueprint of the UPND government. So for all those things that you're talking about, I mean, it's things are going to be seen not today. I mean, governance is not a one day thing. It's something that's it has to be done in a certain strategic period of time so that people will be able to start understanding it as it happens. So all these issues, solar plants, revitalizing nitrogen chemicals, which was a dead horse, now is breathing. Mulungushi textiles is now breathing. Okay, these were just songs in previous governments. Now these are being brought into action, and people can now even see and point, say, oh wow, I think my son will be working there. Kabwe is now becoming a hub of oil industries. The central province itself is becoming a hub of industries. So people no longer want to go and live in Lusaka. People I want to go and live in central province. I want to go and live in Solwezi. I don't want to live in Lusaka. So even in your investment, Wakazia, you start thinking of going investing in all these areas because these are ripe areas where any Zambian can go and invest because the business is right at this moment. So all in all, despite our disagreements, agreements, when it comes to the Lungu family, I'm not even going to touch it because that's something else. And to be honest, it's really weird, really really weird. But the rest of the things, we're in check and we are in the right trajectory of bringing Mother Zambia to the promised land, to where we're supposed to be. And the only person that can do it is the current government and our leader Hakainde Hichilema. That's it.
And
Anybody else, they're just making noise. Especially they're just making noise. They're just noise in people's ears. Like you don't even have an MP in parliament, and you're saying I'm going to be the next president. How are you going to manage it? Are you sure? You can't even manage your own party, first of all. How are you going to manage a country? Okay, so it has to start from somewhere. Like Zambian people now are well read, well acknowledged, and they understand these issues, politics. They understand them. They read and see. You cannot just woodwink them and say, "Oh, yes, I'm the next." Oh, how one term president where with all these developmental projects, impossible. Anyway, guys, I think
I had one final one, not relating to what we are talking about. This is to do with the the quadrennial conference which the president attended. So for me, I think also that system must be managed. You can't be rushing notes to the president to come and start talking about trade unions. In trade unions are very heavily protected areas, and they enjoy a lot of freedom of association and a lot of freedom in terms of how they can interact with the general populace. I didn't take it very well, having been a former commissioner and PS, that the president was speaking about a union meeting another political party. It shouldn't be coming to that, especially that him was also officiating at another trade unions conference. It's a good thing that that union invited the head of state. That is a very good milestone for the union. But to let the president start to talk about another union, and now the next thing that we have seen are people calling for the registration of that trade union. I don't think that should be encouraged, and I hope that the president should never allow that system to work through that, and I hope he will not. That is just my guidance as one of those that have worked in that sphere. Let the unions operate in the way they want, so that they are not.
that's a story of another day, like I say.
I am. This is Machanda. We give our opinions and then we say, okay, you pick it up. If you're gonna bring it as a discussion point for next week, you can do that.
Maybe
Yeah.
another week,
Yeah.
not
So
now.
not now. I'm not saying we discuss it. It's just my view that I'm giving out.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Oh, I did. It's been a stressful week, but anyway, thank you very much, and we will join. Will congregate next week again, same time next week, and thank you very much. Have a blessed weekend and enjoy your families in the summer. Thank you.